for Jonathan Taylor. There he goes again. 50, 40, down the far sideline. He might do it again. 10, 5, touchdown. Indy.
The Eastern Conference Championship has been captured by the Indiana Pacers.
Daly throws a quest. He wins the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Well, an apology to start this Thursday morning. I'm Kevin Bowen, James Boyd alongside Mark Dykton. Across the way, we got another busy joint practice coming up. Day 2, the final day for us in Westfield, which brings a little bit of an emotional moment for me, if I must say. Purdue head coach Barry Odom at 9. Mark, I think I teased it probably in the opening segment yesterday, and we never followed through on it. We never gave away a spot in the Fantasy Football League, right?
I was thinking about that after the show. Like Kevin Bowen, man of the people, let the people down.
7:01 I see on the clock.
I was going to say, you might have given the people some more hope.
317-239-1070. Just the word sorry. That's it. Justin Bieber, great song. Just sorry. Mark, will you pick one for the league? That'll be, 7 spots left after that selection goes out?
Yes, correct.
And just to reiterate to everybody, we need you available for the draft. And Mark, Wednesday, September 9th at 9 o'clock, 999-9999.
Yes, that's the plan.
So apologies on that. Listener Jason, which I probably should just give the spot to Jason, but Jason reached out about 10:01. He goes, I listened for all 3 hours. Unless I missed it, I didn't see you give away a spot. I was like,
I think that he might have a good case.
Well, Jason, early. Sorry, that is the word. We're doing it early on this Thursday morning, but sorry for that. So Mark will give away a spot on the text line. Looking forward to catching up with Barry Odom at 9. Fever back in action tonight. 3.5-point favorite over the Dallas Wings. Looks to be good on the Kelsey Mitchell front. She is listed with an illness after the overheating the other night, but it'll be Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, and company. Fernando Mendoza back on your airwaves if you'd like that tonight, 8 o'clock. It's preseason game number 2. And today up in Westfield, James, sounds like we might see Keenan Allen in some individual drills.
Yes, the 1,000-catch receiver, one of only 18 in NFL history, I believe, made his arrival yesterday to the Colts, and we spoke to him. We'll talk all about that, what he saw in Shane Steichen that put him and this team over the top, because a couple other teams were included or at least trying to court him. He did not tell us which teams those were, but it doesn't surprise me that a guy with his resume might have had a few options.
Yeah, honestly, one thing I was kind of struck, when I first saw him, I was like, damn, that dude's big. Like, he belongs in the tight end room almost.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a big dude. And, when you think slot receiver, you don't think of that body type. But, yeah, big guy. I don't know what he's officially listed at, but he's every bit of, 6'2", or maybe even 6'3". Yeah, he loves Shane Steichen. Man, he loves Shane Steichen. And Shane Steichen loves him. And they are football nerds. So add them to the group. They've added a nerd. Daniel Jones, Shane Steichen. The new guy is moved into the township, and he's now one of your best friends because that's how Keenan Allen really is wired. And that's how I think he's made so much of his hay in his NFL career. Shane Steichen talked about it yesterday, the most cerebral wide receiver he's ever been around. I think Keenan Allen was pretty honest in saying, I've never really had a step. Hell, James Boyd might beat him in the 40-yard dash later today, but somehow, some way, he's gotten it done at a pretty high level. So I guess he said that a little bit in jest, but he said that in kind of why Father Time hasn't caught up to me. It's not like I'm Tyreek Hill out here burning people, and all of a sudden when that goes, then I'm done.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he just knows how to feel the game out, and it doesn't really matter how fast you are if you don't know how to control it. Like, he knows how to control leverage and coverages and looks and fakes and things like that, which has allowed him to build a career where he's now just 16 catches short of passing his new position coach, Reggie Wayne, for the most catches, or 11th most catches, I should say, in NFL history.
James, you walked in here just before the show started, and you informed me that the Falcons faithful have found K-Bowen 1070 on the Twitter sphere.
Yeah.
And I, honestly, usually when that happens, it's not necessarily a they're coming to attack you. You have certainly been one that has seen both sides of social media. I would argue you probably see the other side of it much more than I.
What do you mean? Everyone loves me over there.
But, when I saw the Falcons fans vulture into my mentions, I think they almost are happy with what I had to say about their starting quarterback yesterday. I thought Tua stunk. I thought he was horrible. I thought the Falcons starting offense was one Drake London. That was a hell of a catch he had on Justin Wally. The first one, not the second one. Justin Wally got the last laugh there. Outside of that, I thought the Falcons starting offense was putrid. Honestly, I watched yesterday's practice and I thought, how is Tua ever good?
You know it's bad when you start having those thoughts of like, wait, this is who you are now?
Because he was like halfway decent in Miami there.
Yeah, he led the league in completion percentage for a couple of years, had some big years with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but yeah, like the knock on him before all of this was that you can't win late in the season, the big game, but now it's like, well, should you be starting for a franchise? And a lot of the Falcons fans are yelling no.
Gosh, I thought he was bad. Now, your eyes are more Daniel Jones focused yesterday?
Yes, I thought he was pretty solid. Honestly, despite all of the Keenan Allen hoopla, which is deserved because he has quite the resume, that was a real big turnaround from what we've seen lately from the passing game. I thought Ashton Doolin made some plays down the field, and Seth McGowan made some plays out of the backfield catching the ball. And the ball, to my knowledge, now I could be wrong, but unofficially, Kevin, I had Daniel Jones 15 of 15, and the ball didn't touch the ground.
Yeah, I had him 14 of 14. I counted one sack early, but yeah, the ball didn't hit the ground, which, when you go out there to an NFL training camp practice, that doesn't happen very often. And honestly, Riley Leonard and Anthony Richardson were pretty efficient as well. Leonard a little bit shaky on that final period of the day. Richardson didn't get a ton of work. But yeah, Jones was, I thought, really solid. And I thought you pointed out what is necessary of like the past week has not been that. They've been rocky, frankly.
Yeah.
Leading into yesterday's practice. We should mention the only negative reel yesterday was probably Tyler Warren exiting early. So, before we get into that, largely Daniel Jones' day was without Alec Pierce and without Tyler Warren, and he still had that day. I thought one of his better throws was late to Josh Downs down the seam for, I think they would have called that a touchdown, granted.
Yeah, that was about a 60-yarder, it looked like.
Yeah, cornerback, Falcons corner Darren Hall, I believe former Colt, for a cup of coffee. He made it very clear, had that been a real game, Josh Downs would have had to have taken on some hit from him to hold on to that ball. But nonetheless, really strong day from Daniel Jones. So I thought the tale of two quarterbacks. I thought the Colts won the day. I thought the Colts won the day leading up to the end of the practice. And like in New England, James, when the Colts finished well, I thought they finished well yesterday.
Yeah.
Justin Wally, just a beautiful, beautiful zone read, jumping what Tua thought was going to be an easy access throw to Drake London. And that was a pick six the other way. So it's one day of joint practice, but yes, Falcons fans, I thought the Colts were clearly the better team yesterday.
Yeah, and that was an encouraging sign. I thought the defense looked a little bit more connected than perhaps I expected. Javarius Ward Sr. remains out with a back injury, and so Justin Wally was actually your starting outside cornerback with Cam Taylor-Britt, the veteran who came over from Cincinnati, replacing Wally in the slot. So your three starting cornerbacks were Sauce Gardner and Justin Wally on the outside and Cam Taylor-Britt in the slot. And I thought they did a pretty good job on the Falcons. Now, a lot of the complaints we see from Falcons fans, a lot of them in your mentions on social media, they were basically just saying, hand the keys to the former IU quarterback. Give it to Michael Penix. I know he hasn't done, to my knowledge, any 11-on-11 work this summer so far, but the fans down there do not care. They've seen enough of Tua.
When Tua threw the pick to Wally, and then I think he got a chance the next drive because he threw a pick so early, they're like, no, go back out there. There's still enough time on the clock. They didn't do anything. You had some Falcons fans yelling in the stands for the fourth string guy.
Yeah, it was rough.
I'm not familiar with his name. Not even Cooper Rush. They went to the fourth string guy from the crowd. Mark, the text line is filled up. Good luck choosing one.
Already did. First one out of the gate. Noah, shout out.
Okay, Noah listening and texting early, getting those thumbs ready.
Noah, welcome to our fantasy football league. We'll get more into a man I would draft very early in fantasy football, Tyler Warren, leaving practice early with a right groin injury. We'll get to that here in just a second. I would say the kicking competition continues to unfold in the manner that it has so far, and everyone behaving on the driving range up there just north of Grand Park, Mark?
I believe so. Maybe not. You might have some insight that I don't have. I know your favorite golfer was out there, and I heard, it might have caused a bit of a kerfuffle for potential videotaping or what he assumed was, what do you call the mafia? The media mafia?
Doesn't sound like the Bryson DeChambeau I know, right? He's changed his image, right? He's the fan favorite. Everyone loves him. He would never do that. That's not true. Did you see that yesterday on social media? It must have been fake.
I did see that.
Huh.
And I was like,
Really?
I wonder who could benefit from seeing this information.
Wow. Bryson a fraud. Who would have ever thought?
I assume you'll be out there for Live Golf just to give, I feel like you'll be the heckler at Happy Gilmore to talk to Bryson.
You will not make this putt, you jackass!
That'll be Kevin Bowen with his little bucket hat on, yelling at Bryson.
Did you happen to see the Rory McIlroy clip yesterday in response to a Live Golf question?
I did. That was Chef's Kiss, as they
I
call
was
it.
going to say, he usually will go there.
Is he one of our subtly blunt athletes?
Yes.
Like, does he practice those answers in the mirror?
Because remember, wasn't he the same person that said he wasn't fond?
Yeah, wasn't fond of
Bryson,
Bryson,
which is like the nicest way of saying, bleep this guy.
right. Yeah, maybe we can get to that Rory audio at some point because Chef's Kiss, Mark. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe what Mr. McElroy had to say about that. One day closer to the high school football season getting underway. Weather looks awesome for tomorrow, which on many fronts, and honestly, great for the people of Westfield because they had a huge crowd up there at Chatham Hills last year. So hopefully they're able to welcome a lot of spectators into that venue. Some overnight rain in the forecast, but again, 3 o'clock today, the Colts' final practice. I'm a little bummed, man. I'm a
Yeah.
little bummed. Did you see Ken delivered me another blue Powerade yesterday?
I did not, but good on Ken.
Sitting under the tent. We just got done chatting with Keenan Allen. Next thing you know, ice cold blue Powerade sitting right there.
Did you sing to it? I will remember you.
I gave it a little kiss.
Wow, that was some nice pipes by James right there.
It was.
712.
That was.
That was a choir, James
Man.
Boyd.
Usually we're used to a little smothered chicken, but that was a little Sarah
Hey.
McLaughlin. You got a smothered chicken in you today?
Of course. Smothered chicken. I can't wait.
Man, it just hurts my throat hearing that. Big old J Huff block.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Pacers basketball coming to us very, very soon.
We'll see if there's any Pacer news throughout the show today. Again, the Fever in action tonight. What do we got here? Is that 7:30? Am I reading that right?
Yes, I think that is correct.
Actually, that's last week's Wings game. We got to get this board updated in here.
Well, I'll check it right now for you, my friend.
3.5 point favor. 7:30. Scotty's giving me the thumbs up. Thank you, Scotty, for that. Caitlin Clark. Paige Becker's company. Jessica Shepard back for the Wings, but AZ Fudd out for the year. So still some injury issues for Dallas. Much more on the Colts joint practice yesterday in Westfield. We got a lot to get to here on this Thursday morning. Purdue head coach Barry Odom going to join us in the 9 o'clock hour. I'm Kevin Bowen, James Boyd alongside Mark Dykton rocking the Why Not Indiana shirt. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Thank you for starting your Thursday with us. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, garages, basements, patios, porches, and sidewalks. It's indoor and outdoor concrete. Walking to the car this morning, we still had a little bit of rain on the old sidewalk. Honestly, a little bit of sand. The kids are playing some sand last night, but boy, that pristine Jupiter style of the Galaxy Concrete Coatings is looking right back at me. And you can visit their website. It's galaxyconcretecoatings.com. When you're there, I think it's important to visually see what they have to offer. I think you'll like all the kind of nitty-gritty stuff. Manufacturers upgrade the warranty from 15 years to lifetime. For our home, very efficient process, in and out in about 24 hours. That new sidewalk, new front porch. But again, style-wise, aesthetically, you're going to want to visit the website and see what they have to offer you, not only residential, but workplace as well. So again, that is Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Garages, basements, patios, porches, and sidewalks. Indoor and outdoor concrete. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
The Morning Checkdown. Brought to you by Bet365 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
A positive Alec Pierce injury updates. We'll provide that for you coming up on the other side. James Boyd, let's get to what happened on the field yesterday, though. Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Colts, Falcons. What were your general thoughts from day one in Westfield?
Well, we know what some of your general thoughts were because they went viral in the ATL. But as far as what I saw, Daniel Jones looked pretty good. The run game probably wasn't where it needed to be. I thought JT got stuffed a few times, so maybe they can kind of figure some things out today, later on. And then defensively, Justin Wally, as you said earlier, KB, making a big play. I just want to see him in a real game at this point. Preseason, regular season, I just want to see him in a game setting.
Shane Steichen mentioned after practice, maybe that Detroit game coming up next Saturday, so something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Wally, really good again yesterday. One note, again, Tyler Warren did leave practice, right groin injury. Came back, had a wrap on it, never got back into practice, to be clear. So we'll see his status. I know there's some reports out there that it's a mild groin strain. You know, I think anything soft tissue. I feel myself a little bit hesitant to commit to anything on that. Granted, I thought Chris Ballard gave a mild update on Alec Pierce to start training camp, and that's lasted a month now. So we'll have to wait and see exactly. But Tyler Warren, obviously a vital component to this year's squad. 3 o'clock today, a little shorter today, right? 90 minutes today?
Yeah, yesterday was a lot going on. Had a chance to talk to Keenan Allen before practice and then went into one of the longer practices of training camp.
Individual drills, that's the thought today with Keenan Allen. So if you're out there, you will see him participating at least early. Fever 7:30, our coverage begins tonight. 8 o'clock tip down there in Dallas. I think I misspoke in the previous segment. 8 o'clock tip. It is Fever. It is Wings, a 3.5-point favorite. And James, the Fever got the best of a Dallas team that will have Jessica Shepard back, who did not play in that first matchup, or I should say that second matchup last week.
Yes, but they will be without AZ Fudd, the number 1 pick in this year's draft, due to I think, right knee surgery, so she's out for the rest of the season. It's a big blow for the Wings, who are currently in the 8th and final playoff spot. As for the Fever, they're in the 3 seed right now and have a chance to keep climbing. They're only a game and a half back of the Golden State Valkyries.
3 o'clock. Why did I say 3 o'clock? Oh, yeah, that's cold start time to practice today. Mark, how'd the Cubs do yesterday? You've been all over it this week, so I figured I'd kind of tee you up again.
Ground ball to the right side, goes off the glove of Bush into right field. Vargas scores. Grichuk, he's waved in. He touches the plate. A 2-run double from the rookie, Braden Montgomery. And the White Sox have opened up a 3-0 lead here in this 8th inning.
Don't ever tell me I'm not partisan.
Oh, stop. Gosh, you're acting like it was just, you're such a man, but, you know.
I am. I'm a stand-up guy.
Providing that audio right there.
I'm a stand-up guy.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Gosh.
Congratulations to the White Sox. They got the win, so that was good. Cubs can't take all of them, so they split the Crosstown Classic through the 6 games, 3-3. So there we go. Now the Cubs go on to the Seattle Mariners, who got 22 put on them the other day.
You make me want to puke early on this Thursday
What are you talking
morning. Indians 3-1 winners yesterday over the Louisville Bats. Again, they're home this week and next.
How about shout out to your Reds? Got a big win over the Cardinals yesterday.
The Reds stink. They're like,
Either way.
They're like Tua. Fernando Mendoza back in action tonight. I assume he'll get a little bit of clock. Raiders and Texans. By the way, did you see Jaden Higgins, Texans number 2 wideout, torn ACL yesterday?
Yeah, that was tough. And, this is a big blow for an offense that was supposed to be kind of getting healthier with the return of Tank Dell.
Yeah, they are. They've kind of been an offense that's Nico Collins and then, maybe Joe Mixon or whatever the running back situation has been. Again, they added David Montgomery, but that is a very big loss in terms of their quality depth there in Houston. What else we got here? High school football, week 1 tomorrow. We'll get things set. Dominic Miranda going to join us from WTHR at 7:30. Greg Rakestraw at 8. Looking forward to our first Football Friday and IndyCar in the nation's capital. Again, nothing on track there until Saturday. When we say on track, we literally mean think of the streets around the U.S. Capitol, and Pennsylvania Ave is where pit lane's going to be. 7 turns, I believe, a lot of left-handed turns, a little less than 2 miles here. So I know a lot of eyes will be on that as we celebrate our nation's birthday and also have a very unique IndyCar race taking place for that. And if you're up in the Westfield area today, one thing to note, it is the opening round of the Live Golf Tournament at Chatham Hills in Westfield, so keep an eye out for that. I saw they had their Pro-Am yesterday amongst the celebrities that I saw. Renus Vike, Christian Lundgaard, Aaron Neesmith. I didn't know Aaron Neesmith was a big golfer.
That actually doesn't surprise me. I feel like he would have a pretty good swing.
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, like any type of shooter, Kevin. Aaron Neesmith is a pretty good shooter. I think that they usually have a decent golf game.
Oh, yeah, I think shooters are really good at golf. Yeah, they naturally, I feel like, have some very good golf swings.
Why were you not invited out there? You don't reach the criteria, or they know your thoughts on one of their top golfers?
It must have got lost in the shuffle. Do we have mailboxes here?
I don't know.
Must have gotten lost in the shuffle there.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Would like to see you out there.
I know, Unfortunately, I was unable to make it. I cannot wait for the Rory McIlroy comments. We'll play those a little bit later in the show. Barry Odom, Purdue football coach, coming up at 9 o'clock. I'd say a positive injury update. Kind of a different sounding Shane Steichen yesterday about Alec Pierce. We'll play that upcoming for you and hear from Keenan Allen. He is a member of the Colts. That became official just before practice started yesterday. When will he make his Colts debut? We'll share all of that for you coming up on the other side. A little rainy Wednesday evening night. Sounds like some very good weather the rest of the week. We'll get you set for it all right here, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
We'll have decreasing clouds today with only a stray shower chance at times. Highs will rise near 81 degrees. Skies become mostly clear overnight with a chance for a patchy fog and a low near 65. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
The Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Purdue head coach Barry Odom, 9 o'clock. He will join us. Want to certainly continue to point people in the direction of our partnership here with the recent flood damages around central Indiana and the state. 1075thefan.com. You head there and you can make a donation. We've partnered not only with Fox 59, CBS 4. I know Kroger has joined as well. American Red Cross. You can provide some donations that can help with shelter and meals, emergency supplies, and just overall support in this effort. So again, that's 1075thefan.com. Help in the Heartland. You can find the link there. Our stations, our community standing together. We will be up in Westfield today for the final practice here of training camp. 13 of them will be complete. Looks to be a pretty nice day weather-wise. James, yesterday we heard from Keenan Allen just to the start of practice. What stood out to you from what the potential Hall of Famer had to say?
Well, number one, I knew I could not ask him for advice when I run the 40 again today. I had to look his 40 time up back in the day, and he ran a 4.71 at his pro day in 2013. Can you imagine running a 4.71 and then looking up 14 years later and saying, oh, yeah, I'm one of the more consistently dominant receivers of my era? Like, how many guys can run that slow and have a successful NFL career, let alone a possible Hall of Fame one? So, yeah, won't be asking him for 40-yard dash advice.
Not a lot of Raz score is what you're saying?
No, but he's a baller. But in all seriousness, I think that when he spoke about Shane and seeing the game the same way, that to me was a huge factor probably in why he came here. He did say he had other suitors. He didn't tell us which teams those were, but ultimately he was like, being reunited with Shane was too much to pass up. And tangentially, I think the way Shane and Daniel worked together was probably enticing as well, because you can see Shane's effect on Daniel. And if all three of them are able to get on the same page, who knows what could happen, because they all kind of studied the game a lot. And the other thing that stood out, to put a button on it, Kevin, was that Shane kept saying Keenan sees like a quarterback. So if you have, take him at his word, 3 quarterback minds viewing this offense through the same lens, I think good things can happen.
Before we get to the Keenan Allen audio, Mark, Barry Odom at 9, will that be on Zoom?
That's the plan.
Usually I would.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't think about
Usually
that.
I would never say this. But we might want to turn off James Boyd's camera.
No, don't worry. I got a thing in the car. I got a hoodie in the car.
That's disgusting, James.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Run to the car now.
Don't know if the IU National Championship T-shirt will be what Barry Odom wants to
Of
see.
all the shirts you could have picked out today.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that when I woke up.
So, Coach, your AD's comments. Well, I'm staring at a human that's interviewing me right now with my Rivals National
Well, you
Championship
know what? It could make
T-shirt
for
on.
some good radio. Need to answer for your 80s crimes.
I think we have like an emergency blanket or something. I could just say the heat's turned off or something in the building today, and James got a little chilly, so you can just wrap the blanket
Does anybody
around
oppose me just going shirtless? What's the problem there?
Well, I've certainly done it before, so zero.
I was going to say, does FCC cover
Zero judgment
me
here.
showing my chest?
Just get a bunch of paper towels and you just drape them over James's shirt.
Hey, what's
there
that red
for
shirt he's got on?
Barry Odom not to see. This was Keenan Allen yesterday prior to the Colts joint practice.
Just the way he runs things. He's a genius in himself. He knows the game. He knows the ins and outs. And like the way that he knows the game, I know the game as well. That's how I was kind of raised in the NFL world. Learning that game.
He's a genius was quite often used by Keenan Allen yesterday to reference Shane Steichen. Again, these two are very, very close. That was quite evident yesterday. I think that's probably what helped push the Colts over the line. It was kind of funny when they got done. Or when Keenan got done talking, the Colts were busy stretching, and he walked over to where the Colts were stretching, and Shane Steichen, as he usually does, is in front of the team and, kind of walking up and down the line. And next thing you know, Keenan approaches him, and for the next 5 minutes, they like to start mimicking routes. And like Keenan's like kind of acting like he's running and planting and cutting, and Shane's, palm out and, finger drawing up routes and all this stuff. I'm like, those two are just football nerds.
And they're going to nerd out.
They're going to nerd out. And Daniel Jones is going to love that aspect of it. So, again, individual drills is the thought today. from Keenan Allen, and we'll see next week. I assume he'll get some sort of more team-related activity. I thought the Alec Pierce update yesterday from Shane Steichen was a little out of the norm for the Colts head coach. Am I making too much out of that?
I don't think so, because he usually says nothing about injuries. In fact, when we asked for an update on Charvarius Ward Sr. and his back, there was no update. There was no information. The answer might have been all of 2 seconds. And then when the question was posed to him, hey, was the Keenan Allen signing in response to Alec Pierce and his recovery, Shane said they were independent of each other. And then on his own, just offered up a pretty good, I would say, update on Mr. Pierce.
Yeah, said he had a pretty good workout in the indoor facility on Tuesday, moving around well, and his return should be soon. Now, to, I guess, throw a date out for soon, James, I assume the next practice for the Colts after today would be Tuesday?
Yeah, so play Saturday, off Sunday, or whatever, watch film, or probably reconvene Monday and then get back at it Tuesday. Like, I think you want to get into like a regular game week at that point.
Yeah, so they play next Saturday. So I think what they'll try to do next week when they get back to their complex is try to mimic a game week. So typically you would go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
For a Sunday game. With it being a Saturday game, you'll bump everything up a day. So my guess is for next week, they'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so that Tuesday would be the next, I guess, day to circle in the potential Alec Pierce practice debut. So, again, it's just that's a little different from Steichen than normal. I think you laid it out well there, kind of describing his answer about Pierce versus his answer of Charvarius Ward. So that would be 4 weeks from the start of camp. And if he's able to get out there on Tuesday, that would leave pretty much 3 full weeks to get ready for week 1. So, I think that would be enough time. Is it enough time to play 98% of the snaps like he usually does? That remains to be seen, but a little bit of an Alec Pierce update. Again, Tyler Warren left practice early. He just came up lame on a route. Is that what I saw yesterday?
Yeah, it looked like he kind of took a tumble there in an 11-on-11 route. And so when he got up, he was clutching at his right groin. Obviously, all of us were locked onto him for the next few minutes just to see what would happen. And he was limping, Kevin. I don't think that was an exaggeration at all. I was looking right at him. And they wrapped up his right groin in an ice pack. Stayed with the team on the field, but definitely we all knew his practice was over, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's just not doing much over the next few days as he recovers. I don't know the extent of the injury, but it didn't seem like he was in a world of panic or anybody else on the staff.
Kirk asking what number for Keenan Allen. He will wear number 10 here. So him and Blake Groupie will be rocking the number 10. We'll see if Laquan Treadwell's status potentially has any impact on Keenan Allen potentially going to number 13, which has been his prominent number throughout his career. Speaking of Groupie, we should mention yesterday both kickers did kick in the joint session. Blake Groupie was a perfect 5 of 5. Peacock strutting his way around the practice field per usual, and Spencer Schrader was 3 of 4, once again missing left. So that continues to be the common theme throughout camp.
Is that a case of the yips at this point? Just going left every single time?
Yes. I would say that is a good way to describe it. Which, again, Brian Mason, special teams coordinator, James, mentioned that about a week ago. They feel like they have detected something that is contributing to this common left miss.
Yeah.
But obviously, detecting it and correcting it sounds like Bryson DeChambeau on the range yesterday in Westfield.
Yeah. Just not working out very well for either.
You will not make this putt, you jackass.
Kevin, leave him alone.
Kevin the bully.
Mark, can you play this Rory McIlroy clip?
Oh, sure.
So, James, again, just update everybody on where we are with Live Golf right now. Live Golf as we knew it, I used the past tense there. It's about to be dead. And so now the question is, all right, where are some of these Live golfers going to play moving forward? Are they going to go back to the PGA Tour? What punishment will be there from the PGA Tour? I don't know if you remember this, but earlier this year, the PGA Tour offered an opportunity for the Live golfers that have won a major title to return to the tour. There'd be a little punishment, but the John Rahms of the world, the Bryson DeChambeaus of the world, the Brooks Koepkas of the world, they could return. Patrick Reed. We saw Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka say, all right, enough is enough. I did the live thing. It wasn't whatever, or at least I got my money, and now it's time for me to go back to a tour that people actually care about. Bryson and John Rahm, those two specifically, decided not to do that. So this was Rory yesterday. Mark, is the question in here? Because I think the question is probably important to have it in here.
I believe.
Just go ahead and play the clip. And this is Rory's reaction yesterday.
Yes, it's in there.
Rory, Scotty was asked about the possibility of live guys coming back and whether they bring value, in your opinion. Are there guys, if it goes away, that should be allowed back?
I mean, I'd argue, have they brought value to live? You know, I think PJ Tour is in a really good spot.
Dang. Ooh, boy. I would hate to get on his bad side.
He just subtly drops the hammer.
Doesn't raise his voice at all.
And like his
even keeled.
His body language is just hilarious watching the clip.
Man.
You like to see practice that in the mirror?
No, that's got to be natural. That is natural, calm hate.
Gosh, it's really good.
Yeah, I got to practice that.
I was going to say, I don't know how I ingrained that into me. I would argue, have they brought value to live? He says it, I'm kind of like, well, he ain't wrong.
That sounds like a superhero, like villain line in the Avengers.
Yeah,
Thanos said that before he ended the world.
Barbie's like, Bryson back on the tour would be good for the PGA Tour. John Rahm back there would probably be good for the PGA Tour.
Well, good thing they're not asking you that.
But then I hear Rory's answer, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he basically was like, they chose their side. Stay on it.
I don't want to debate him in debate class. Get my ass kicked.
What's the word? Succinct.
Succinct. Seth McGowan cleared it up yesterday. It was a touchdown preseason game 1.
Yeah, he said the NFL told him they got it wrong, which, look, man, I don't think you should bet on preseason football, but if you did, there should be refunds galore if you got screwed on that. I don't think the betting companies will be agreeing with me, but how could that not be a touchdown? I just don't understand how they got that wrong.
Yeah, that was really bad. Really bad.
Like, I didn't expect to get on those refs should be suspended train this early, but I'm there already.
Kevin said he was in mid-season form after that happened.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys, Maddie looked at me and was like, it's August. You cannot be this mad
No,
already.
No, you can, because that was horrible.
And I'm usually not big ref guy, but
Me
damn.
either. But it was so obvious. I'm like, isn't every turnover reviewed anyway?
Exactly.
I just don't understand how that part
That's what puzzled
makes
me.
any sense.
Was the whole review element to it all. I thought McGowan had a nice day yesterday. He had a nice catch and run there late. Again, I thought Tua and the Falcons were horrific offensively. I can't stress that enough. There were times that I thought Tua wouldn't start, Westfield versus Carmel on Friday night.
Jeez.
Actually, I think it's Fisher's Carmel now that I think about it out loud. But I will say this, James. Bijan Robinson made a catch late in practice.
Ooh, baby.
I've always said this about the joint practices over the years. I've probably now seen 9 or 10 teams do joint practices with the Colts. I've never seen someone move like Christian McCaffrey that up close in person.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone move like him. Watching Bijan Robinson yesterday, he would be the one I'd put right there. Like the fluidity to his ability to make that catch and not break stride. I was like, oh my gosh, they just need to give him the ball 50 times a game, throw to Drake London 4 times a game, and hope that somehow, some way gets him down the field. Because Tua stinks.
Yeah, but that catch from Bijan was pretty special. Left hand, one hand, it was at his shoe, and he just caught it in stride out of the backfield and hardly even slowed up to get it. Just next level alien type stuff. But yeah, the worry there is that are you going to force your spectacular players to be spectacular too often? Because at some point, those plays aren't really highlights. They're going to be lowlights because everyone isn't going to be a one-handed grab. It's going to be a pick or a turnover on downs and things like that. So, yeah, that was rough stuff from Tua, and it just makes you wonder how successful can Atlanta be because they're always in the mix for their division, which isn't all that great or isn't all that strong year in and year out, but they can never really, get over the hump because their quarterback play just hasn't been there in recent years.
Elliot wants us to talk Tyler Warren and the groin timeline. I know there are some reports out there, James, that it's a mild groin strain for Tyler Warren. I'm not really going to commit to anything until I hear it or it gets more than 12 hours removed from the injury.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Like, let's see how he feels this morning and then going forward. But myself, I don't view this as, oh my God, he's going to miss week 1.
Yeah, it didn't look horrific if you want to go off of that yesterday.
But at the same time, I had people asking me, hey, what's your best guess? I can't guess for you. I'll try to get more information, and we will hear from Shane here in the next couple of days, and maybe he'll have an update on Tyler Warren. But like you said, it wasn't a crazy reaction from Tyler. Not that I expected one anyway, but the staff and everyone didn't seem too concerned. Because Kevin, like when a star player goes down and it's a severe injury, everyone can kind of feel that. And honestly, Kevin, if it really was that bad of an injury, Shane probably would have led with that after practice, not Keenan Allen and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, 3.5 weeks away from the start of the season. I would say in the history of soft tissue injuries, I'd say most are lasting at least a week, potentially a little bit longer. Again, if it's a mild groin strain, you would think he would be back well in time to play September 13th against the Ravens. But, as we know, hamstrings and groins and whatever, I mean, those can be nagging. Those can be something that can be difficult to truly get rid of. So, yeah, it's just tough for me to be, oh, yeah, he'll be back out here in 7 days, 12 hours after the injury occurred. I just, no. And, again, if you want to go off the Alec Pierce update from the start of camp, Chris Bauer thought he'd be back in 1 to 2 weeks. And now it's going to be, 4 weeks for Pierce? So yeah. I'm probably not. You are starting to get to the time of the point of camp, James, where any sort of injury, now I at least start to think about week 1. Based off the calendar.
Yeah.
It's August 20th. Again, 3 weeks from Sunday, you'll play a football game. So if somebody gets hurt today in practice, again, groin, hamstring, turn an ankle, whatever, now week 1 starts to become more of a, okay, is this a thing? Whereas, if you suffer that injury on July 28th or August 1st, you obviously just naturally have more time with it. I don't recall Warren being on the injury report much at all last season, James. Maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
But he played every game.
Pretty durable. I remember 1 week he was sick. Remember he was on the report for that. He did play like he was kind of sick too. But beyond that, very durable player, very reliable player. And honestly, he is someone that I look at and say, okay, if you are going to miss, let's say the next week or so because of practice or whatever, I'm not too concerned with it because he looked so good last year. He's looked so good throughout training camp this year. There's nothing that I'm really worried about as far as his fit in the scheme. Of course, I would love for him to get reps in with Keenan Allen being added to this offense, but beyond that, people trust Tyler Warren, and the work speaks for itself. He had the 4th most receiving yards in a single season last year, and that was for the Colts, that is, and that was his rookie year. The only guys he was trailing were John Mackey, Hall of Famer, and Dallas Clark, Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah, I mean, a healthy Tyler Warren, I'm drafting that dude super high.
Yeah.
In fantasy.
I'm not against him possibly being the focal point of this passing offense.
Right. I mean, we had the conversation yesterday. I thought when you brought up, will Keenan, or Mark brought it up, will, Keenan Allen lead the Colts in catches? Kind of initially caught me off guard a little bit. I didn't necessarily view it in that light. I guess we should note one thing on Keenan Allen. Shane mentioned yesterday, we're not going to be playing this dude 100% of the snaps.
Right.
So, I guess for our fantasy footballers out there or people that care about that stuff, I don't think that's that big of a shock to me. I mean, he is 34 years old, so don't expect him necessarily to be out there for every single snap. Sounds like they'll move him outside and inside a little bit there. And again, I was just struck by his size. I mean, I know I could just look at the back of his football card and be like, well, Kevin, he is, tall and big. But, for a slot wideout, I just think you usually see those guys as smaller. But, hell, he looks like a borderline of tight end out there. Honestly, it kind of looks like Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah. So he's listed at 6'2", 211, And to your point about playing time and snaps, he played 55% of the snaps last year with the Chargers. That was a career low for a full season. Now, obviously, he produced a whole lot.
And that's him playing every game, too.
Yes, played all 17. Yep.
Individual drills for Keenan Allen. That is the plan for him coming up today. And then, again, Colts will get back to their complex next week, and it sounds like his activity will ramp up a little bit more. One other injury note, DJ Giddens, who is trying to compete for that backup running back spot. I would say he's got a ways to go to catch Seth McGowan right now. He did return to practice yesterday, so very important for DJ Giddens in his role to try and earn some sort of depth spot behind Jonathan Taylor, or even make the team, if you want to look at it from that aspect to it. Reminder, Barry Odom, Purdue head football coach. They had a practice last night. He's going to join us coming up at 9 o'clock.
I'll be shirtless.
James Boyd's going Skins. I'll go shirts, you go Skins.
Okay.
That's probably best for everybody involved.
Could you imagine him hopping on that Zoom call and being like, why the heck is this guy shirtless? Could I tell him I'm ready for college football season? Ready to paint the chest?
Well, I don't know if that's quite the icebreaker that we want to ease into the conversation.
Come on.
That'd be a quick way to lose the video portion of this interview. I'm going to turn my camera off.
Are we trying to go viral
actually.
or not? Do we want people to tune in and watch the show or not?
We've never needed Zoom hiccups more, Mark, than 9 o'clock today. What else we got here? Fever tonight. That is 8 o'clock. Again, they are down in Dallas, 3.5-point favorite. This is game 3 of a 5-game road trip for Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. 8 o'clock hour upcoming. We'll see if there's any news in the 8 o'clock hour upcoming. Kevin Bowen, James Boyd, Mark Dykton here, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
We on a mission.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Well, we give away a spot in our show Fantasy League. We did that to lead off today's show, rewarding those in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll continue to sprinkle those in throughout. Mark, probably a fantasy football guest we need next week, maybe.
I would agree. I would say that is more than needed because, I always need to get like a reset following free agency and the draft and everything like that. See, like, oh, yeah, that guy moved teams, or, oh, that guy could be a rising rookie that I need to target later in the rounds.
Yeah, drafting probably pretty frequent here coming up. I've always been a fan of wait until it's close to the start of the regular season. Just all these injuries.
I had someone, I'm joining a new league this year with my brother-in-law, and he was like, oh, you want to join? I'm like, sure. It's one of his neighborhood buddies or whatever. And the guy's like, what do you guys think? We should draft in like a week or something like that? And everybody's like, preseason hasn't even started yet. Are you insane? Are you an insane person? I'm like, you do it after the preseason at the very least. Like, and when there are preseason games on the line, you do not draft.
I didn't even think it was possible to do that early. I thought that the leagues would automatically make you wait.
No, you could draft like I think fantasy football like technically opened like in July where you can start signing up. People could draft right then and there, which is moronic.
Like I understand people are like, oh, let's all get together and do a boys' weekend and do our fantasy football draft. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, that's a cool little weekend, but damn, for the integrity of the league, it's kind of you're risking some things here.
Yeah.
Breaking news from 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
This better be good, Mark.
We have a Pacers update on where they will be streaming their games this year. Would you guys like some information?
How about when Mark played the breaking news sounder the other day and it was for a Falcons defensive end signing?
Yes, a new defensive end will make his appearance in Westfield later today.
That was
at joint practice.
That was pathetic, Mark. That
What are
looked
you
like
talking
Tua
about?
Darius Smith.
That looked like Tua playing quarterback yesterday.
I was giving valuable information in case you want to see the defensive end free agent that everyone's been looking for. He was going to be in the Falcons uniform. What are you talking about?
Well, did you let the cat out of the bag when you said it's going to be streaming?
Maybe a little bit. As we have kind of projected about a month or so now, we have now got official word. The Pacers and DAZN will be the new home of Pacers basketball from a streaming standpoint. They have just announced that on their Twitter account. It says, we're excited to announce DAZN as our new local broadcast partner. 22 free games, about $1 per game if you sign up by October 15th, plus exclusive Pacers content. Launching in early September, fans throughout our home television territory, including Indiana, Kentucky, Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri, will be able to watch games live or on demand via DAZN app.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk money here. And if I'm reading this right, I'm seeing here if by October 15th they've got a deal, okay, for $59.99 for the entire year. So that is to watch all 71 non-primetime games. So that would be $59.99. That price point is much better than the one we threw out there a few weeks back. Remember, originally, guys, when this rumor of DAZN, which for those that don't know DAZN, it is largely, I'd say, more of an international sports streaming service, big time in soccer. By all accounts in the streaming world, they are very good at what they do. This is not going to be, at least the hope is not going to be Bally Sports 2.0.
Yeah, make sure the app works.
I think the Pacers fully realize how big of an issue. So this is a 5-year deal. The Pacers and DAZN. There is a potential out in the deal, but that's probably the price point you want to focus on. $59.99 for the entire year. If you somehow miss that that timeline there, which October 15th is the date, it would be $119 for the full season.
So it doubles if you wait. But at $60, like you said, Kevin, 71 games, you'd be paying about $1 a game, give or take.
Basically half off right out of the gate, as long as you sign up before October 15th.
I mean, again, I think, I've I'm probably not as just like streaming has ruined sports viewing. Like there's a little bit of like, I have to live in a dose of reality that like, hell, the NFL puts some playoff games on streaming services. And yeah, do I love the fact that whatever, DAZN, I'm probably only watching for Pacer games? No, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Whereas whatever, Netflix or Amazon or some of these NFL outlets, you obviously are watching them for more than just those specific games. I think the hardest thing, and we're going to get some more information on this here in just a second, but I think the hardest thing, guys, is like, my question's been, why not linear? Why not WTHR, the Pacer partner here over the last couple of years? Wish TV locally is another channel that I've kind of thought about. And I think the difficult thing with WTHR, for example, it's the NBC affiliate. And it's very difficult to tell the NBC affiliate that you're going to preempt their national coverage 71 nights out of the year.
Yeah.
You can do some of it, but you can't do 71. So for DAZN, this is going to be, you're going to download an app. This is not going to be YouTube TV or something like that. You're going to download the DAZN app.
And to spell it,
go ahead.
DAZN.
Pronounced DAZN. Yes, DAZN. And this is how you will watch. So I think Roku, you can download the DAZN app. That's how you will view games. You will view them in a similar way to how you did FanDuel and Bally in recent years. But the hope and the prayer and the belief is the functionality of this will be better. If you want a little bit of hope, I believe the Pacers are one of several NBA teams using DAZN. So, again, I think this is not totally common across all 30 teams, to be clear, but it is a little bit more. So let's get more info on this. Joey Graziano from the Pacers joining the show to talk much more on how we will be viewing the Pacers here coming up this year. All right, let's head to the hotline right now. And obviously the news of the day, how will we watch the Indiana Pacers locally here in 2026, 2027? A man that actually our relationship with Joey Graziano, our next guest, stems back to the NBA All-Star and how big he was back then with the league office in helping the city of Indianapolis with that. And he's the creator of the bubble. That's how I always like to introduce Joey Graziano, now with the Pacers, the executive vice president and chief commercial officer. Joey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man, and I've been called way worse things in my life, so I'm good with your introduction.
Georgetown baseball legend, if I remember correctly, as well. Let's go Hoyas here. Sax Ahoya, Joey Graziano with us. Okay, let's just begin with a simple educational question. Someone just hopped in their car and just got wind that, oh, wow, we just heard that we're going to now know how the Pacer games will be viewed this season. How will fans watch the Pacers in a very anticipated season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really great, and we've partnered with DAZN to be able to allow our fans to be able to watch all of our games locally via the DAZN app. And for us, this is really about the fan and wanting to provide and make sure in this what is a really anticipated season, we created more access, more flexibility, and really more affordable ways for our fans to be able to watch our games through this app, given right now, everyone having access to an internet connection means that fans can watch, whether it's on their tablets, on their phones, on their connected TV, on their gaming console. We wanted to provide all of these ways to be able to watch a Pacers game.
Again, that's the voice of Joey Graziano, works for the Pacers, does a great job for them in helping us understand what's going on this season as far as viewing purposes. So I'm seeing here that fans who sign up by October 15th can get an early bird season pass, which will be about $60 for the entire season, which is, of course, $1 or less than $1 per game. So, Joey, I guess, how did this partnership come together with DAZN, and what can fans expect from a broadcast standpoint? Like, will it be our same guys that we're used to seeing?
Yes, it will be the same team, the same incredible production you expect. But when we worked with DAZN, I mean, they're really one of the international leaders in sports. They've got the World Cup, the Club World Cup. They've got boxing matches. They have the NFL rights internationally. They work with the NBA internationally. And so we wanted to be able to bring a truly sophisticated global operator into our market. And so we're really excited about what the game's going to look like from a production perspective. But as you referenced, it was important as we worked through this partnership to ensure this is really, really affordable. So 22 of our games will be free on the DAZN app. We do have this early bird season pass. If you sign up by October 15th, it's only $59.99 for the entire season, which, as you referenced, is less than $1 a game. And we also have a 7-day free trial that we partnered with DAZN on. So our DAZN is really focused on our market. They're focused on our fans, and we all want to do right by the fans is what is such a really exciting season upcoming.
So the regular price would be $119.99, but as James pointed out, and you just said, Joey, the early bird season pass will be $59.99. So again, this is for the and this is all 82 games, correct? Even the 11 games that are nationally?
Well, so the 11 games that are nationally, you're going to watch via our national partners, whether that's ESPN or ABC or Amazon. So we will be playing 11 games nationally, and then the rest of the games will be on our local partner, which is DAZN. And as I referenced, we've got 22 of those games free. You can pay for the subscription for the rest of the games, and we're also still working on a local over-the-air solution for 15 of those 22 games that I referenced that we want to make sure are providing free access to fans.
Okay, I believe in years past you guys did something with WTHR, like a handful of games here or there, and I think there have been some other teams that have adopted that, whether it's, again, a WTHR locally, Wish TV. Was that thought explored at all from can we go a purely linear local television channel versus the streaming service?
Yes, and we've got incredible partners, and that's why we're still working on providing those 15 games to local partners over the air that we think are going to be incredible, and we want to make sure are providing opportunities. But ultimately, we've recognized that viewing patterns just continue to change, and so we wanted to be able to provide that access ubiquitously, whether you're on your phone, headed to the airport, you're on your iPad, at work, certainly with, you're on your couch on a connected television. We wanted to make sure that our fans could watch from all of these different ways, given just fan viewership has changed. I heard sort of a crazy stat that in 2010, pay TV, almost 88% of households had pay TV. Today, that number's less than 30% that have a cable subscription.
Wow.
And so the world is changing, and I think we wanted to be able to bring in somebody that we've seen who's on the forefront of those changes, who's been working like this around the world. And so that's why we think the DAZN partnership is the right partnership for us and our fans, most important right now. But we certainly are going to find all of the ways possible to bring our games, and that's going to continue to include our local over-the-air partners.
So again, that's the voice of Joey Graziano. He's with the Pacers. He's explaining how we're going to watch the 71 local games, again, 11 of them nationally for this upcoming season. All right, Joey, talk to my mom. My mom, gosh, I love her to death, but Colleen Bowen and technology go about as well as, James Boyd and a golf swing.
Come on.
It's just not a very pretty sight. Explain to Colleen Bowen, she needs to download the DAZN app and needs to pay $59.99 by mid-October in order to watch the 71 games, correct? This is not going to be available on YouTube TV if you already have it or something like that.
Correct. And here's the great part. We're going to have our own white labeled home. So you're going to see the Pacers logo. You're going to just be able to go to pacers.com/DAZN to be able to find all of the places that you can download that app. And if she's got any challenge, just because I love your mom, I'm happy to buy her lunch, and I will personally download this app onto her phone or her connected TV to make sure she can watch our games. I wouldn't want her to miss it.
How about that?
How about service?
A lunch for two at Dooley O'Toole's in Carmel. That's where you need to go, Joey, okay? That's her favorite spot.
For you and your mom, that would be a pleasure.
Boom.
Look at you. Getting mom hooked up there. So that's Joey Graziano, gracious enough to join us here on the Fan Morning Show. He is the Chief Commercial Officer at Pacers Sports and Entertainment, helping us figuring out where we can watch these Pacers. So over the last few years, Joey, we've seen these partnerships kind of change or evolve, whether it was Bally Sports to FanDuel to now DAZN. Do you think this DAZN partnership is something that will sustain over the next few seasons, or is this just for, hey, we're going to get through 2026, 27, and then go from there?
I think there's still a lot of change in the media landscape, but I would tell you, we signed a multi-year agreement with DAZN with the hopes that this is the right solution for us and our fans. But we're always going to do right first and foremost by our fans. And so part of that is, we've got to deliver both on the court and with this relationship. DAZN has to deliver in the way in which they are going to make this really easy and accessible for our fans. And we're going to continue to evaluate. I think, as everybody knows right now, there's just so much changing in the media landscape, and we want to be thought of as really innovative and fan first. And so we'll always continue to think about that. And so I certainly couldn't promise this is the last change, but what I will tell you is our commitment together is really strong, and we're really excited about them as a partner and what is possible for our fans now with this new global partner focused on our market.
Well, look, as long as I can get a Quinn Buckner smothered chicken, I'm good. That's all I need in my life. I don't care how I have to
Quinn's
get it.
not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, Quinn's not going anywhere.
So I appreciate the insight there. One last one, and Kevin kind of got me going with the parent talk. So to be clear, when we download the DAZN app and we get our subscriptions, we can access this via laptop, tablet, phone. I think of myself selfishly, like I might be on the road a couple days this year for Colts games. It might not be in my same city, but I'll be able to access this on the move as well.
100%. Certainly when you're in our marketing territory, and if you're not, and if you find yourself, in another location and you want to be able to, you moved away to California, you still want to watch those Pacers games, then you're able to use NBA League Pass. And so you'll be able to watch all of these Pacers games, whether you're on the move at home or if you happen to move. We want to make sure you can always watch and support the Pacers this season.
So if I'm on vacation, spring break in Florida, can I still view it via the DAZN app?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Because this is your home market. Yep.
Got it. Okay. I'm trying to think of questions that maybe aren't on the list that I haven't crossed off yet. Let me go one more, Joey. Could you explain what this contract means for you guys organizationally? I guess how vital is the money from DAZN? Because I hear from fans so often they need to make it easier for me to view it. They need to make it, Bally Sports was a disaster, blah, blah, blah. The app was this, the app was that. So, how vital is this for you guys organizationally, and how do you weigh that versus saying, hey, we just need to partner with a linear television, and while the money might not be as robust as DAZN is going to be, at least it's going to be easier and available to more eyes?
Our fans were our first and foremost consideration, and right now there's not a local over-the-air option in our market that would allow us to have one location to be able to watch all of our games. Where we're able to identify something that our fans could watch and be able to view across their different devices. And so we thought about how a fan watches the game. We thought about how we watch games. And ultimately, that was why we decided to pick DAZN, was because we thought this was the best solution for the fan. And that's where we put forward. And so when you think about all of the ways in which we wanted to take care of the fans via the early bird offer that we have, we are buying, the Pacers are buying for all of our season ticket holders a complimentary DAZN season pass. So the economics are certainly important. We're certainly focused on growing our business, but we believe the way to do that is to take care of the fan and think long term. That's always been Herb Simon's vision for us in this market, is to think about our fans first and to think long term about our future. And so that's why we partnered with DAZN before certainly any short term economics.
Okay, so lastly, and feel free to cross these T's, dot the I's that I'm not doing right now. The regular price for DAZN would be $119.99. A monthly pass is available for $19.99 a month. But if you buy the early bird season pass, which could be purchased by October 15th, that is $59.99 for the entire season. Do I have all that correct?
You do. That's great.
Okay, $59.
And then if you become a season ticket holder, we provide you with a free DAZN pass for the season as part of your season ticket membership.
Is that any package? Any season ticket package?
Yeah, for our season long and packages.
Season long packages. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Joey, thanks for all the info, man. I know this has probably been a very strenuous project for you guys behind the scenes, and there's a lot of things that we probably don't fully realize at all. So appreciate all the info, and good luck with the rest of the Fever season, and certainly looking forward to this fall with the Pacers.
We're incredible. Thank you guys for being such great fans, and let me know about that lunch with your mom.
Dooley O'Toole's, Joey Graziano, Colleen Bowen coming up. Cannot wait for that. That's Joey right there, Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer for Pacers Sports and Entertainment. So, boys, as you would expect, lots and lots of questions from fans, and hopefully Joey provided some answers there for you. I still think there are more questions. I've just been jotting down a few of them during that conversation with Joey that I want to make sure we get to on the other side, because this to me, guys, is like a little different than maybe a normal segment that we do. The first hour we concentrated a lot on, hey, what happened at Colts practice yesterday? And, Tyler Warren this, and Daniel Jones, the ball didn't hit the turf, and Tua stinks, and, this and that. Now I feel like we're kind of in like the, as best we can we answer questions phase. So we have a lot of them, and I want to make sure we get to them as best we can. I'd say simply price point. That's probably what people care the most about. And, I said it right there to Joey. The early bird special by October 15th is $59.99 to watch 71 of the 82 Pacer games this season. The other 11 are national. If you don't take advantage of that early bird, you're either going to pay $19.99 per month or $119 for the season. Now, again, lots of questions about, hey, I live here, this, that. Let's get to all of them here coming up on the other side. Anything you think like super pertinent before we get to the morning check down?
I would just say, again, the deadline for the half off is October 15th. That's been a question that a lot of people have been asking. So if you want the $60 price point, October 15th is the last day to sign up for that.
And the service will launch in September. They are going to allow fans to do a 7-day free trial, which includes some of the preseason games, I believe.
Yeah.
So you can experience that if you'd like, because, again, October 15th is the date that early bird special kicks in. They'll play multiple preseason games before October 15th.
Yeah.
So if you want to, test things out, you could do that. Mark, let's go ahead and check it now.
The Morning Checkdown, brought to you by Suave Men Refreshing Face and Body Wash on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
So if you have any questions over the Pacers and how to view them, text us 317-239-1070 at us on Twitter. We'll try to field a list of questions and go over some of those answers. James Boyd, day one. Colts Falcons yesterday. I thought a very good, outside of maybe the run game, I thought a very good day for the Colts.
Yes, Daniel Jones was 15 of 15 unofficially passing the ball, which means the ball did not hit the ground during any of the team periods. Josh Downs made some plays. Ashton Doolin kind of got out of a quiet spell here, made some plays as well. So those were good signs. And then lastly, offensively, I thought Seth McGowan turned a few heads.
Yeah, I thought defensively, Tua and the Falcons really, really struggled, to put it politically correct. Justin Wally had a very impressive interception on the final drive of the day, 1v1s. Yeah, probably a pick six, honestly, from the rookie there, jumping a Drake London route for that one. So, again, I thought a good day for the Colts all in all. We did see Tyler Warren leave with a groin injury. Obviously, anything soft tissue, we'll continue to monitor the severity of that. 3.5 weeks away from the Colts-Ravens week 1. Fever tonight, 8 o'clock tip, 3.5-point favorite in this game. It is the Fever and the Wings playing for the second time in about a week. James, still no AZ FUD, but this is has all the makings to be a pretty high-scoring game, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a fun one, the last matchup here in Indianapolis, where Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark in particular went at it in the third quarter. It was basically a full-blown one-on-one, full court. So we'll see how the Fever respond tonight, trying to go for their 6th straight win.
What else we got? Major League Baseball yesterday. Mark, you boys couldn't hit the ball.
Couldn't hit the ball. Still took 2 out of 3. But, yeah, White Sox took the season finale of there. So both teams split 3-3.
Reds beat the Cardinals. Actually, the Brewers lost. Kind of shocking there. Indians win 3-1 over the Louisville Bats. Again, IndyCar, the big race. A lot of eyes on it. Freedom 250 in our nation's capital coming up this weekend. I believe it's a 1 o'clock green flag. A lot of pre-race activity. I'd assume plenty of patriotic elements to this. I would assume a lot of red, white, and blue cars to decipher through as well. So you got that coming up here on Sunday. High school football tomorrow, week 1. Weather looks really good. So I think we kind of hopefully have gotten through the rain for the next few days after last night. So you've got that coming up. We'll get you set for it. Tomorrow, Fernando Mendoza, 8 o'clock tonight, ESPN, Raiders and Texans. And James, that was a notable injury for the Texans yesterday. Torn ACL announced for Jaden Higgins, who, I feel like is kind of clearly their number 2 wideout behind Nico Collins.
Yes, and so they have been kind of trending up in that position group with the return of Tank Dell, who I believe hasn't played since 2024 after having a severe leg injury. So that's a big blow for them, and we'll see how it affects them, especially when it comes to these Colts-Texans matchups, which the Colts have not won since the 2023 season.
Okay, so we will try to answer as many questions as we can. Pacers DAZN related. It has been announced just about a half hour ago that the Pacers will have their non-primetime games. So again, 71 of the 82 available, an app called DAZN. That is the acronym DAZN. So if you have any questions, tag us on Twitter, 317-239-1070. You ask them, we'll try to answer them the best we can coming up from the other side.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
We'll have decreasing clouds today with only a stray shower chance at times. Highs will rise near 81 degrees. Skies become mostly clear overnight with a chance for patchy fog and a low near 65. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Purdue coach Barry Odom in a half hour announced at 8 o'clock the Pacers will be airing their 71 non-nationally televised games via the streaming service DAZN. This is an acronym, DAZN. We just had Joey Graziano from the Pacers on to educate us a little bit more on it. And now we'll do the best we can to answer many questions that have been sent in to ask us about this. Guys, let's start with the price point before we move on to anything else. The easiest and best price point is the early bird special they offer. October 15th is your deadline on that to watch the 71 local games. You will be paying $59.99. That is, again, the early bird special. If you don't do that, you're looking at $19.99 per month. That adds up to about $120. So based off what you paid for FanDuel and Bally, you're talking about probably cutting that in half if you look at the last couple of years, if you do the early bird special, which, again, is the $59.99 by October 15th. You two feel free to throw in any questions. Let me just toss one real quick because I saw this from several people that are not in the state of Indiana. What constitutes your home territory? The Pacers' home television territory includes Indiana, Kentucky, Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. Fans within this territory will be able to access Pacer games through the DAZN app. They actually have a spot on the Pacers website. Go to NBA.com, Pacers website. There's a DAZN link with frequently asked questions. You can put in your zip code and literally check to see if you're in the home territory. If you're outside the home territory, you got to have NBA League Pass.
Yes, and I saw another question that was, okay, well, if I sign up for DAZN, how many streams do I get? Do I have access and the ability, rather, to share this DAZN membership with someone who isn't in my same market? The answer to that question would be no. So from what I'm looking at here on the Pacers website, it says that if you sign up for the season pass, the regular season pass, which again is $60 right now, and until October 15th, that price will jump to $120 after October 15th. But it says you get 2 streams, so that means tablet, phone, TV, tablet, but only one IP. So basically, you have to be in the same location, same address to access that stream. Now, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it does say you can pay more and have 2 IPs.
Exactly. I was going to get to that. So to Mark's point, you can pay $80 for the entire season. And again, that $80 is only until October 15th. Through that ultimate plan is what they're calling it. You get 5 streams and 2 IP addresses. And of course, the 2 IP addresses means that you would be able to have, let's say, the stream at my house and the stream at Mark's house in Brownsburg or whatever, something similar to that. So, and you get 5 streams that way. So something to think about if you have the ability to afford a little bit more. But I wanted to fill you guys in on that. It's basically like, it's not password sharing. It's not the ability to just load it up anywhere.
It also says you get 20% off the Pacers team store if you do the ultimate flex or the season pass.
One-time
use.
One-time purchase.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear so people don't go in there and think they can just buy.
I'm going ham in here.
Whatever,
I got 20% off.
20% off all day long. Yes, available on Roku and, your various other streaming apps. I mean, DAZN is rather popular. I know that might not resonate with, domestically, but, they're big in international soccer. They have some rights with the NFL and the NBA as well. I know this doesn't impact all of our audience by any means, but as Joey mentioned, it is a free login for season ticket members. Now, he did, I wanted to be specific with him and ask him, what about like a 6-game package? What about a 12-game package? Some of those smaller packages. No. He said, it's got to be a full season ticket, but you're not getting this channel with Xfinity or YouTube TV. To watch the Pacers this season, you're going to have to go through the streaming services like you've had in recent years. And now the streaming service is called DAZN. Again, DAZN. This from DJ. I'll take that over $20 a month. I had to do with FanDuel. I don't know what DAZN is, but I can't sign up fast enough. Look, I fully understand that there are a lot of people, very understandably, that are going to be irate about any sort of price point. In this day and age of 2026 sports, this is you're obviously swallowing your pride a little bit here, but this is probably what you're going to have to do. And the price point, when you consider what it could have been or what it was, is much better than what it was. Is it perfectly ideal? 100% not. I mean, there are honestly some ownerships in the NBA that have nixed anything like this. The Pacers have elected to cut some prices, but not all. And that's probably more of a reality of, again, ownership philosophy. And, as I asked Joey, from a linear standpoint, can you watch, how competitive was the market locally? Could you have aired these 71 games on WTHR? Could you have done it on a Wish TV? And they made it clear that that was not possible. And I think a reason for that would be like NBC locally, WTHR. NBC is not going to allow you to preempt their nightly shows.
No.
Not 71 nights out of the year, at least.
Mm-mm.
Now, some of them will be there. Again, 22 games are free? Did I see that right?
Yes.
So, I mean, you do have a chunk of games that you can watch for free, but if you're going to consume as many as 71 locally televised games, you're going to have to pay that $59.99 price point.
That's just the bottom line. I understand the frustration, and look, as somebody who grew up in the Chicago area, and I could turn on the local station and watch the Bulls whenever, I still miss that ability. But in my own personal opinion, I do think this is a better option. I'm not saying it's a perfect option at all, because anything that costs you more money is certainly not something I want you to have to pay for. But we're just giving you the information, people, so you can decide for yourselves.
Yeah, again, nothing on Spectrum and Xfinity that I've seen like they are going to put DAZN on there. I have not seen any of that. I guess one thing we're still waiting to hear is they will have some games, again, on linear. In recent years, they've done WTHR. I think it's been like 5 to 10 games that they have done. They will do some. Not all, to be clear. They will do some. That has yet to be announced. But I didn't get any sort of impression that this is going to be, available Xfinity Spectrum. One texter here. So if I go to Vegas for a week on vacation, I can't watch the Pacers on my phone. No, I believe you can. I mean, didn't I ask Joey about going to Florida for spring break?
Yeah, you basically just have to do like any other streaming app. And I'm assuming when you log into the DAZN app, it'll ask you, are you traveling? And then you say yes. And then there's a limit to how long you can be in the traveling market. But yes, my understanding, because I did ask the same question as this listener did, is that you will be able to watch it even if you travel a little bit like I do. And we do.
Mark, anything else you're seeing question-wise?
I think some people are just asking, like, what if I join late? Like, is there a way to, like, restart the game? Like, is it going to be like a live feed, or like, because some options, once you start games, you can't go back to like start from beginning or whatever. It says you can download the games at the very least. It doesn't matter what option you choose. It says includes download. So I assume if you're like, I'm not going to watch this, be able to watch Pacers Timberwolves tonight, you can download the game and watch it in completion that way. As far as like playback, I don't know how that would work necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with DAZN in terms of having used it prior, but I would hope that you would be able to, yes, rewind to whatever point you need to. I mean, I'm speaking out of turn here, but for a 2026 platform that is as internationally prevalent as DAZN is, if you can't do that, then have some high schooler at Brownsburg develop something for you.
High school at Brownsburg. What kind of school? They're running a streaming service class in there?
DAZN app is available to be downloaded on 100+ devices. Check the full list of DAZN distribution partners here. Samsung, LG, Sony, Panasonic. Yeah, Fire Stick, Fire TV Cube, Apple TV, Chromecast. I assume Roku. I guess I should probably double check that. Guess I can do that when I go home tonight. It's got to be available on Roku, right?
I would think so. That would make sense. Either way, it is something that I know. One of the other questions that we got.
Yeah,
on
it
the
says,
text line-
it says it's on Roku's channel store.
Okay, that makes sense. I know one of the other questions we got was, will we be able to get our main guys? Yes, from what I understand, you will still have Quinn, JJ, Chris Dennery on the call. I'm not sure, Kevin, about still being able to listen to those guys, even if the game is national. I think it might depend on like which national broadcast it is. So that gets into the weeds, but I'll try to get more information for you all whenever I receive it.
How many times are those guys going to be like, Daenerys going to be in the mirror? DAZN. Don't say FanDuel. Don't say Bally's. Don't say any of these other ones.
Yeah, because
He's a pro. He's got this.
Seems like annually it has changed here. It is a 5-year deal with DAZN, which, again, this is the real issue of where we're at in today's kind of sports landscape of like, this is a new budget item for a lot of people. Will this price point change at all over the course of those 5 years? I know there is an out in it. And really, this is, I think it's, while your ownership, I think could, be super aggressive in this, I do think this is more of a league-wide issue, especially for the smaller to mid-market teams. Like the Pacers are going to be one of several teams using DAZN. This right here in the frequently asked questions page on the Pacers website. Fans with a Pacers on DAZN subscription can continue to watch games while temporarily traveling outside of the home television territory for up to 30 days. So that kind of reiterates our vacation question that we got a little bit earlier. So again, price point, I think that's what people care about the most. And previously, you were looking at about $119 for the course of the season to watch the Pacers. If you do the early bird special with DAZN, that is $59.99. That is 2 streams in 1 IP. If you want to share with whatever, a friend, et cetera, and you want 2 IP addresses, you would get 5 streams. That bumps your $59.99 for the early bird special up to $79.99. Which honestly, that's not, I think, terrible by any means.
Considering some of the price points we saw when this was supposedly going to be the rumored spot anyway, this is much better than what we initially thought.
I mean, originally the zone was like $34.99 a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're like, oh boy.
And if you're comparing it to last year, you're going to cut your season package in half. Last year was about $120 for the entire season with no early bird special. This year with the early bird special, it's down to $59.99. And October 15th is that date.
Yes.
Which, if I'm looking at the Pacers preseason schedule right now, I believe, let me double check this. I want to say they play the 7th, the 10th, and the 13th. So, and the 16th. I just wanted to mention the 3 dates that are before the 15th. And James, I bring that up because you can do a 7-day free trial.
Right.
So if I were you and you have skepticism, sign up the morning of October 7th. Go 7-day free trial. Watch 3 preseason games. That would leave you the morning of October 14th to make a decision or not, and you still have 1 day with the free trial. I listened to a little bit more on this yesterday. One additional note to add, it does sound like there will be some promotions throughout the season, potentially around Black Friday, potentially around Christmas. I don't know what the details of those are. All I know right now is the early bird special for $59.99. But if for some reason you've got a busy, first month of the year, or you want to see how good the Pacers are, I do think there will be some points during the season for a little bit of a coupon effect. If I have any other questions, 317-239-1070. Again, Barry Odom in 15. We'll sprinkle in some Colts conversation as well. Fan Morning Show.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Again, we're trying to educate you on the Pacers' announcement today, how to watch their 71 non-nationally televised games. I do think the biggest gripe is probably, boom, I've got parents, I've got elderly people, internet access maybe is not something that, A, they either have, or B, they know what they're doing there. How do you watch over the air? It does sound like there will be some games over the air. That was not in today's announcement. That is to be announced. They will have some, but I think that's probably the one real, gripe that you could have. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that. DAZN, DAZN, the early bird special by October 15th, $59.99. That will be how you watch 71 of the 82 Pacer games this season. Barry Odom in 10. James, what do you think of day one, Colts-Falcons yesterday?
I thought the Colts offense kind of struggled to run the ball. JT got blown up in the backfield a couple of times. And to be clear, when I say blown up, not actually hit or taken to the ground, but just run stuffed. So not a lot of success there. But the passing offense did look pretty good, which I thought was kind of ironic for the same day that Keenan Allen gets officially announced as a member of the Colts. You go out there and your passing offense finally looks a little competent, as opposed to what we saw against each other earlier this week, and also even last week when it came to the joint practice with the Patriots.
Yeah, I thought it was a really nice performance from Daniel Jones and company. Obviously, the stat line itself kind of speaks for itself. The fact that he was, 14 or 15 of 15 or 14, he's perfect. He didn't have a single incompletion, but you factor in Tyler Warren exited early with that groin injury, still no Alec Pierce. That kind of adds to it. For the most part, nothing too crazy down the field. He did have a really nice throw to Josh Downs late in practice there. Conversely, I thought the Falcons' offense was terrible. I thought Tua really struggled. Latu had a sack of him early. A.J. Halsey a tackle for loss. Justin Wally a pick six late in practice. And just in general, several times when I would look over there, Tua's holding on to the ball. Balls are falling incomplete. He lived on the check down. Drake London had one really nice catch down the field over Wally. Wally had it pretty tightly contested, but Drake London made a really nice play. That was it. So I thought a good day for the Colts. I thought a really good day for them. Honestly, the Warren injury would be the only thing. So 3.5 weeks away from the start of the season. Anything soft tissue related, you would hope that he could get back here within whatever that time period to ramp things up. And the Alec Pierce update. That was a little Unchained Steichen-like yesterday, James.
Yes, Shane was pretty complimentary of the progress that Alec Pierce has made, and I'll read you his direct quote so you know exactly what he said. Alex in a great spot right now. He's doing really good. I watched him work out Tuesday in the indoor practice facility. He's moving around really good, so hopefully we'll have him back sooner than later. That is more than Shane ever says about injuries. And honestly, I think him saying that Alec is close to being back holds more weight than when others say it within the franchise.
Yeah, I think that is good news. So Tuesday, I think, is now the next date. We're kind of circling here. The thought is nothing for Pierce today, but Tuesday when they get back to their own facility, will he be out there? Again, that would leave 3 full weeks for him to get ready. Still no Travarius Ward. And the kicker competition continues to unfold in the manner we've seen in Westfield. Blake Grupe makes kicks, and Spencer Schrader misses them to the left. That's about as simple as I can describe it. Grupe 5 for 5 yesterday. Schrader 3 for 4. The one miss again to the left. Actually, 3 for 4 raised his percentage.
Yeah, good point.
That's how bad he's been in Westfield.
But like I told you earlier this week, Kevin, I just think that the gap is too significant for Schrader to really make up any ground unless he's perfect himself over the last couple of weeks before the season. But at this point, I think this is Grupe's job to lose, and he is not giving it up.
The thought with Keenan Allen is individual drills for him today. So if you're going out there, 3 o'clock start time, Keenan Allen in some individual drills. James Boyd has put the jacket on. No sign of any IU paraphernalia. Probably smart.
I'm a professional. I always keep extra clothes in the car.
Barry Odom, Purdue head football coach, next. Andy Moore Group Campus in Avon. One-stop shop, 4 different brands: Kia, Volkswagen, Nissan, and Toyota. Was chatting with Ben, their GM at the Toyota dealer, the other week. I said best inventory they've had in years, most new models in over 3 years, and plenty of used if you want to explore that as well. They've got hybrids available to you, Camry, RAV4. Again, that is the Toyota dealer. And the great thing about the Andy Moore Group Campus in Avon, one campus, 4 different brands. Beautiful to compare, contrast, and you don't have to drive all over town to do that. Again, it's Toyota, it's Nissan, it's Kia, it's Volkswagen. Tell them Kevin Bowen sent you, the Andy Moore Group Campus in Avon.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
2 weeks from tomorrow, little Friday night action to greet Barry Odom and the Boilers. It is a September with Wake Forest and Notre Dame on the schedule, and I believe Mother Nature sent them inside last night for a competitive practice. Let's head to the hotline right now. You see him on Zoom. He's the head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. He is Barry Odom. Coach, thank you for the time. How was last night's work for you?
Yeah, good morning. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for having me on. Really good work. I would, the volume of reps that we got in the last, 3 consecutive days, really, I think tested our team in a lot of ways. Just not only physically, but the mental focus that we had it structured on going into now 2 weeks out from the game on what we wanted to hit. And I thought last night was our best practice in really all 3 phases. And we did some normal down things, good on good, and then a lot of situations from red zone work to third downs to an overtime period. and just trying to get the guys in every situation that possibly could come up here in 2 weeks and get them game ready. And they're responding in a great way and excited about every time we take either the meeting room or on the field. We're getting better in every area, and it's been a lot of fun to coach the guys here this fall camp.
Again, that is the voice of Barry Odom, the coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. Thanks for joining us, Coach. One question, and of course it always starts with this guy, the quarterback, Ryan Brown. What have you seen from him this offseason that gives you confidence that he can build on what he had last year?
Yeah, I think number one, maturity. I think self-confidence and belief in not only his physical skill set on how he's improved that, but the mental side of the game. Completely different player as far as seeing the field, making decisions, and that comes with experience and a lot of times in that position. And then also surrounding him with impact players and giving him a little more time with the upgrades that we made on the offensive line and the development of the guys in the locker room at those spots, and then being able to run the football. That has become something that we've got to be able to hang our hat on. It's going to make the quarterback play even better when we can run the ball, and that's going to open up some things in the pass game for him. So I think he understands that. The game has slowed down a lot for him, and he's making really, really smart plays. And sometimes it's not the completion. Sometimes it's throw the ball away and live to play another down. So I'm excited about his maturity and what he's done, and really looking into, I think just like our team, he had his best practice last night. And I think, today we'll have a day full of meetings and in the weight room and some walkthroughs. And then tomorrow, another practice, and Saturday we'll scrimmage, and we're trending in the right direction at the right time.
One more on Ryan Brown, Coach. And again, that's Barry Odom with us here as Purdue and Indiana State 2 weeks from tomorrow. It sounds like it might maybe started with your relationship with the Manning family, but I know he's had some interactions with Peyton here this offseason. I even think Peyton was up on campus at one point. Where did that, I guess, start for you, and what has that, you think, done for Ryan Brown?
Well, I think, you look at the quarterback position, and it all starts with the cradle of quarterbacks at Purdue. Every single guy that played quarterback here that we've had a chance to reach out to, they've poured into our players. And, Drew Brees has been phenomenal on every time he's on campus. He comes back and pours into our guys. He's Zoomed with them. He's phone called, visited in person. Kyle Orton did a great job on meeting with our guys for about an hour this summer. And there's some X's and O's talk with that, but more than anything, it's the leadership of what that spot needs to look like. Peyton was here on campus. His son was in a position of going on and seeing different campuses. So Peyton came with him during that trip. And I've known the Manning family for a number of years. A relationship with Archie and then Peyton. So that's kind of built in. But then also, Ryan was invited to the Manning Passing Academy, which has become, I think they've done it for 30 years. And one of the greatest opportunities for a quarterback to go visit that, because you got other high level college quarterbacks there as, mentors of the camp. And then, the thousands of kids that have been through that camp, they always benefit from it. And it's the skill set side of it, certainly, but also the ability to, be around tremendous quarterbacks and great leaders. And I think Ryan benefited from that. The quarterbacks that I've had over the years that have been able to go to that academy and get invited to that, every single one of them, they've come out of it, the 3 or 4 days length of time of the camp, they've all come out of it so much better than what they were before the camp started.
Again, that is the voice of Barry Odom, kind enough to join us here on the Fan Morning Show, coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. They open their season September 4th against Indiana State, and then the Big Ten schedule opens up September 19th at UCLA. Coach, looking at the defensive side of the ball, Charles Correa is someone I would think pretty well throughout the years. You've kind of traveled together. What does he mean to this defense, and then what do you want to see from that unit overall this year?
Yeah, I think number one with Charles, his leadership skills are trending in a category that um, you would describe as elite in the things that he does off the field, in the meeting room, in the locker room, in the weight room, in the walkthroughs, and then his production on the field. Um, there's times that you look and you would describe him as the heart and soul of our team. You know exactly what you're going to get every single day from Charles, and his competitive spirit is infectious, and we need him to have a great year, and I know he will. He puts a lot of ownership and pressure on himself. He's going to rise to the occasion, and we're certainly excited about the progress he makes. And then defensively, the defensive staff led by our coordinator Kevin Kane, they've really put together. They've got the guys in the right spots. They're playing fast right now. We're playing physical up front, which is good to see. And I think, overall branding of that, we're talking about all the time in the program defensively on attacking and in that style. And, there's a number of variations of how you play defense with, odd front or an even structure. And, he's been able to bring a very multiple fronts to us, multiple defensive alignments, which will benefit the athletic ability we have on that side. And, the defensive ball, if you know what you're doing and you've prepared the right way and you trust that, then you can go play fast and you can play, within yourself and play free. So our guys are moving around, playing well together, playing smart football. And right now we look like a unit that's much improved.
Again, Barry Odom, very pleased with how Ryan Brown looked last night. Purdue just 2 weeks and a day away from Indiana State, coming to Ross-Ade. Coach, you've obviously had multiple head coaching stops in your tenure. Today's day and age of college football is probably a little different than previous stops that you've had. I'm curious how much, and I know it varies day to day, but how much do you discuss and or think about the finances of your program on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's always at the forefront of your mind. You have to be very aggressive in that world. That's something that is, it's real, it's here, and has been here. And if you don't address it and get creative with what that looks like, then you have no chance. So I think the number of ideas and thoughts that go into that on a daily basis with the different groups that we have within our organization, I would say we attack it every single day.
I saw 247 Sports listed out the Big Ten teams and where they think the rosters are from a numerical value, and I want to say like 7 of the Big Ten teams are over 30 million. You guys were one of 3 Big Ten teams under 20. Do you feel like that's accurate? And then do you feel like you have enough financially to compete within the Big Ten?
Yeah, I don't know the accuracy of that exact numbers that you're speaking of. I know that we're all, I'm thankful for our rev share amount on what Purdue has done. We're always, you always got to find ways to increase that number. And you look at how rosters are built, and then you look at how they're retained, and that's going to be such a huge part for us because of what we feel like the team that we have is the retention side. So we're always in the world of what that looks like. You're striving for more, and we've got to continue to find ways to generate that for Purdue, and certainly I'll do anything I can to help us out in that way.
Again, that's the voice of Coach Barry Odom. He coaches the Purdue Boilermakers, kind enough to join us here on the Fan Morning Show. One more kind of on the NIL front. How do you balance, okay, the price point might be here, but the character is this? Like, how do you balance the two things when you want to build a roster and obviously be competitive, but you also want to find the right guys that it makes sense and they can mesh together?
Yeah, you've got to, the number of new players every single year, you've got to find, in my opinion, you got to find the right fit, and that they need to be in a position that, number one, they can help us upgrade our roster. They can do things that will fit at Purdue University. We're still, as our assistant coaches, our personnel department, general manager, recruiting department, it's still relationship driven. And the more that we can get to know players and their families, that has trended for us to be a very positive. The further back in a relationship that we can go, they're going to have success when they come here. They're going to be coached, and we'll make them the best player they can be. If they haven't graduated, I want to make sure they graduate from Purdue, which is a huge selling point for us. And then they need to be impact players that can play in the Big Ten. And if they don't hit those things and it's not a fit, then we need to find the right fit. There are thousands of really good football players out there, and also you've got to have things that you believe in for your program, and our staff of all the people involved that have a hand in that. They continue to do a really good job for us.
Coach, how have you had to maybe evolve when it comes to the world you're in now? Because as Kevin mentioned, it probably looks a little different than it was even 5 years ago. And what gives you the belief that in this new landscape, you can turn things around with Purdue?
Yeah, I think you're always evolving. If you don't, you have no chance. That's in any line of work. That's in anything that you're doing. In my belief, that the growth component of what that looks like, you better surround yourself with people that are really good, and you better find answers. We're in a problem solving business, and it has in the last 24 months. It's changed more. The landscape has changed more than the last 30 years combined, in my opinion. So I, very open-minded, trying to be in a position to learn as much as we can about it, and being select, direct, and aggressive in those ways to build your roster. So obviously, I think we all have changed a great deal in the last couple of years on what we once knew what it was. So I've got a strong belief in Purdue University, got a strong belief in the people that are here. And I have very strong conviction that we're going to be in a position that on a fast track to win consecutively, and in a sustained program that's chasing championships.
Coach, last one, and thank you for the time. Over the last year plus, I guess, how much have you looked at what Indiana has done and said that's a blueprint we need to explore, versus how much have you looked at it and thought to yourself, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about that and having to answer questions about what Indiana has done and how that applies to us?
Well, I think it's real. The reality, respect to what they've accomplished, and they've done a tremendous job in that program on building it in the way that they have, and then executing and playing at a high level. They have done such a job for college sport. Now you look at it, it stares you right in the face, wherever you are in the country. But when you're 90 miles away from it, and obviously it's your rivalry game, there's not a day that goes by that it's not brought up to me, or I haven't brought it up to myself on what that looks like. So every program is different on how they go about it. I can't I don't need to have a lot of opinions on how they did it. I do know this: I've got a lot of respect for the way that they've played, because they've put together and coached with elite coaching and great players. They're everybody right now in college football is chasing them because what they did last year.
Coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Trees will make the trek up from Terre Haute to take on Barry Odom. Again, year 2 for him. Wake Forest, UCLA, Notre Dame also of note there in the first month of the season. Coach, glad to hear last night went well for you, especially quarterback-wise. Thanks for making time for us. Enjoy the quieter day, and good luck at the scrimmage on Saturday.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Barry Odom right there, year 2 for the Boilers. Again, the unique thing about that non-conference, Wake, Notre Dame, sandwiched around, that road trip to UCLA. I mean, that's a late one.
Yeah.
And UCLA, new coach. When you start to count wins, possibilities, I get it's away from home, but Wake Forest and UCLA right there early on.
That's
in the
when
season.
you need.
One and maybe even 2.
Yeah.
If you're going to sniff, whatever, a handful, potentially a bowl game, which I know is probably far-fetched for a lot of Purdue fans right now.
Yeah, for sure. But it was good to hear from Barry Odom, and I think it's always fascinating to hear from coaches who kind of came into the coaching world before things changed to this degree. And now I'm always curious too, Kevin. Like, he's in year 2. I'm not saying he's like on the hot seat or anything, but what's the level of patience, and has it dwindled at all because of the era we're in and because of how quickly, in theory, you can flip a program? Of course, IU is like the ultimate flip of everything. I mean, I watched a lot of HGTV with my mom when I lived back at home, and she would love to see houses flip from nothing to something. And that's what IU has done. But even like
with that Kurt Signetti recliner still in his house, right?
Exactly. But even selfishly, like my alma mater, Illinois, they went from being a really bad program, quite frankly, to being respectable, winning 8 to 9 games on an annual basis. And so is that something that Purdue is capable of? And if you aren't able to get there sooner rather than later, then what happens for everybody involved?
Yeah, one thing to add to, by no means do I think Barry Odom is on any sort of hot seat, but anytime you bring in a new athletic director, I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, new people are now in charge, and I guess it's a new president as well. So, you know, that stuff can't be, totally ignored. So, yeah, we'll see how things look here coming up a week or 2 weeks from Friday. Mark, before we get to the morning checkdown, what do you think has been the most popular question you've seen from Pacers fans today? Again, for those that missed it, 8 o'clock this morning, announcement on how to view their 71 non-primetime games. I know the text line has been pretty busy.
I think the most pressing question is just, is this finally going to be at least a long-term answer as far as the streaming service? Are we going to be playing this song and dance next season? I think people are just kind of sick of bouncing around from streaming service to streaming service. Give us some sustainability. And I think the other popular response has been, it's actually cheaper than I thought it was going to be. While they would prefer it to be on linear TV for free, the $60 price point for the early risers, not as bad as what initially was thought.
So let's go to both those. It's a 5-year deal with DAZN. This is DAZN. Think of it as an app streaming service. That's how you're going to have to view it. Very similar, honestly, to how you viewed it the past couple of years via an app, via a streaming service. Doesn't sound like it's going to be picked up by Xfinity or Spectrum or YouTube TV or anything like that. But to Mark's point, it's a 5-year deal, and I believe there is an out in that if it doesn't go well for whatever reason. To Mark's point about the money, $59.99, that is the early bird special. October 15th is the deadline. So you can watch 3 preseason games on a free 7-day trial before you commit to that, before the October 15th deadline. If you don't hit that, you're looking at about $120 for the entire season, which is the price point in recent years without the early bird special. We didn't have the early bird special, James, in prior years.
No, that wasn't even an option.
So I do think that is much better of an upgrade. I fully understand it's still a notable amount of money, and hell, it's a budget item for some people now.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving forward, but it is a better price point than what we've had in recent years. And that $59.99, James, 1 IP address, 2 streams for those looking to share.
Right. And if you would want to have 2 IP addresses, you'd have to go up to the ultimate plan, which is $80 until October 15th. And so I do think that this early bird special is really early. I know in the past when it comes to some of these promotions, and it doesn't even have to be for streaming, for anything, the early bird special can be like kind of pressurized where it's like you got to make a decision in, 7 days or else. You have plenty of time now, and even leading into the preseason for the Pacers, to test it out. You get a 7-day free trial as well to kind of play around with it, and then you can decide ultimately if you want to move forward with the early bird special. But, yeah, I would just say if you are a diehard Pacers fan and you know you're going to pay to watch these games, do so now and save yourself some money.
Home territory, there is a zip code link on the Pacers website. There's a frequently asked questions section there. You can literally put in your zip code to make sure you're in the Pacers home territory. I believe the states are Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Missouri, I think. But again, there's a zip code checker in there. If not, if you don't fall in that zip code, for those listening to us in Tennessee or Florida or out west, NBA League Pass is going to be the route that you have to go with that. So if you have any other questions, again, text us 317-239-1070. Tag us on Twitter. We'll try to answer anything lingering on that front. Mark Dykton, check it out.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Am I seeing this right? Scotty Scheffler's got more wins on the PGA Tour in the last 3 years than the Tennessee Titans do.
Boy, that's pretty bad. Also more than the Cardinals.
Gosh, imagine thinking about that in the ESPN stats department.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you start looking up weird ways to say how bad some team has been or how great some individual has been.
Well, watching the Atlanta Falcons, I wouldn't predict too many wins for them after yesterday's practice. I thought Tua was terrible. I thought their starting offense wasn't very good in general. The Colts, I thought, created some of that disruption, to be fair. Latu had a sack. A.J. Halsey, a tackle for loss. Justin Wally, a pick 6. James, I know your eyes were a little bit more Colts offense related, and you liked what you saw passing game-wise?
Yes, 15 of 15 unofficially for Daniel Jones. The ball did not hit the ground at all. He had a long touchdown pass to Josh Downs in the team periods and another long pass that, in fairness to the Falcons defense, one of their safeties basically told Josh Downs, if this were in practice, you would have been decapitated here on this field. So, there's always context to add, but overall, the offense did look good, and we should see a new face out there in Keenan Allen, not in the team drills, but some individual work planned for him today as he gets acclimated with his new team and his old offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen.
If you missed the injury situations to Tyler Warren and Alec Pierce, we'll provide those for you coming up here on the other side. 8 o'clock tip tonight down in Dallas. It is Fever and Wings. 3.5-point favorite, the Fever in this one. Good news for Kelsey Mitchell. Listed as probable, is listed with illness, but still probable is a strong indicator she will play after she had to sit out the fourth quarter the other night due to overheating, according to Stephanie White. But James, usually when these two teams get together, it's a pretty high-scoring affair.
Yeah, it was great theater last Friday when Caitlin and Paige Beckers went at it, basically played a full court one-on-one in that third quarter. So the Wings are shorthanded. They will be without, again, AZ Fudd, the number 1 pick from this year. She's out for the rest of the season due to a right knee injury. But the Fever can only play who are in front of them, and at the same time, they're chasing something. They're trying to get to that number 2 seed, and they've won 5 straight, trying to go for 6.
What else we got? Major League Baseball, Mark, your Cubs back to reality?
Not back to reality. You lost a game. I wouldn't say back to reality.
I don't know. Shutout and how many hits?
Ooh, there might be some fighting going on in this studio. Cut the cameras.
Yeah, I'm about to turn them off.
Reality. I'm just glad James zipped up his jacket for Barry Odom.
Yeah, I started to unzip it right after he got off, but I was like, I don't want it to seem like the stream has lagged and he sees me kind of unzipping.
Thank you to Barry Odom for joining us. Indianapolis Indians 3-1 winners yesterday. IndyCar in the nation's capital. Again, a lot of attention around this race. The Freedom 250. You literally have the start-finish line right outside the U.S. Capitol. Pit lane on Pennsylvania Ave. I mean, it is quite the ordeal coming up here on Sunday. 1 o'clock, the green flag for this one. High school football coming up tomorrow night. Boy, Mother Nature looking good. We need it, certainly, after last week. Some games of note. Warren at Center Grove, Brownsburg at LN, Perry at Beech Grove, Tech at Noblesville, Lutheran at Addicts, Cathedral Ben Davis, Franklin and Southport, Zionsville and Pike. We'll get you set for it all coming up tomorrow. That 4A game, Bishop Dwenger and Roncalli, rematch of a great state final game last year. Mr. Mendoza tonight, 8 o'clock. Is he starting, Mark? Are they starting Kirk Cousins again?
I don't know. But he was very excited about joint practices the other day.
Oh, his interviews have been, the same Mendoza that we all know full well.
I keep wondering, when he gets that welcome to the NFL moment, is that going to change his persona at all? Or is he going to still be like, I'm just so happy I got hit right now. It was such a fun time.
No, boy, if he ever cracks, if he ever turns into Bryson DeChambeau, then we're just done with society as a whole.
That seems like two very different sides of the coin right there. I don't know if one hit would change him that way.
Care to fill in our audience about Bryson's antics yesterday up in Westfield?
Well, he's at the driving range or something, and he was calling the media the mafia or something like that because he was having some issues or something.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
He kicked somebody out, right?
Yeah,
for
booted him.
But this person was standing behind the media ropes and filming Bryson. James, have you ever filmed the Colts practice?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine getting thrown out for something like that.
Again, I think my angst with Bryson DeChambeau I've expressed over the years. Yesterday's actions speak to more of who he is than the fun YouTubey Bryson DeChambeau.
I know it broke your heart seeing that.
It did. It did. Yeah.
You have
really
such
did.
high standards for him.
Really, I was stunned. I was shocked. Yeah. Shocked that he's a cheater that we saw at the British Open as well. What else we got here? Jaden Higgins tore his ACL yesterday. James, for those that don't know, that is a Texans wideout. That's a notable player for their offense. So when you see Tyler Warren leave with a groin injury, that's much better than what the Texans are dealing with right now.
Yeah, just hope that it's not too serious for Tyler Warren, but he didn't look like he was too alarmed. Not that he ever shows emotion. He's very even keel, but even the coaching staff and everyone around him seemed to be alerted, but not terrified of the possibilities of him missing a bunch of time. Just shut him down for a while. He's proven enough. He's done enough throughout the preseason, and then just get him healthy for week 1.
Much more on Tyler Warren and Alec Pierce's injury situations. And also, we'll answer some questions. The Pacers have announced how we can watch their 71 non-nationally televised games this season. You can ask them. We'll try to answer them as best we can. We'll do that coming up on the other side.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
We'll have decreasing clouds today with only a stray shower chance at times. Highs will rise near 81 degrees. Skies become mostly clear overnight with a chance for patchy fog and a low near 65. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
Men Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
I think the biggest gripe, guys, I've seen today, and again, the Pacers announcing 71 locally televised games this season will air on DAZN, the streaming service app. $59.99. That's your early bird special. So $60 to watch the Pacers this season. That's pretty much what you're looking at to simplify it the most. There are several NBA teams, guys, in similar market sizes that have found an over-the-air local channel to air their games.
Yeah.
Now, the Pacers would say, well, we don't have that available to us here in this market. I'll be honest, I'm a little uneducated to the fact of, like, I don't know, could Wish TV do that? You have like a WTHR, for example. That's your NBC affiliate. The Pacers have been partners with them, airing some games before. I would assume NBC National would say, hey, you can't preempt our nightly shows 71 times during the year. I was looking at the Bucks, for example, during the break. They have the channel MY24. Again, I don't think that's their NBC affiliate, but they found that. I saw the Hornets.
I think it's their version of MeTV, basically.
Okay. That makes sense. I saw the Hornets have done this. I believe the Magic fall into this boat as well. So that's where you get into two things, guys. I think it's a little bit of ownership.
Yeah, if the ownership really wanted to make this free and accessible, they really could.
That, and then again, a little bit of what's available to you in your market.
Yes.
Which I assume Wish TV would qualify as that. I don't think that, whatever. Isn't that kind of CW's type stuff on Wish TV? So I do think that is your one, pretty legitimate, fair gripe discussion point. But, there are a handful of teams, it sounds like, that are going with DAZN, and the Pacers are one of them. And I'm sure the rights fee from DAZN is a pretty healthy penny for the Simons.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I get it. I get the frustration, but I also just wanted to, and we wanted to bring you all the latest information, try to answer some of your questions, and let you all make your own decision going forward. The good thing about it is, if you're really wanting to hold out and not have to pay the money, hey, look, if you can survive and get to the playoffs, which the Pacers should be back into this year with the healthy Halliburton and company, you ain't got to worry about it then, because playoff teams get on TV quite often.
Alec Pierce, the update there, it seemed to be, I would say, fairly promising and a bit different from Shane Steichen. Shane usually doesn't get into too much of the weeds with it here. I get he's been asked about Pierce quite a lot. But James, yesterday he said, watch Pierce worked out in the indoor facility on Tuesday. Thought he was moving around really well, and expects his return to be soon. Now, okay, what does soon mean? They practice today. The expectation is Pierce won't practice. They play Saturday. And then I believe their next on-field session will be Tuesday. So is that where we're circling? Is that the new date on the calendar for Alec Pierce?
Yeah, that's kind of what I would think in my mind. But at the same time, I just don't want to get ahead of myself when it comes to Alec Pierce. I'll probably just believe it when I see it, when it comes to how good he looks and all these things that are kind of second or third party. Our eyes will tell us everything we need to know when we see him back out on the field. And to Shane's point, hopefully that's sooner rather than later, because we're now less than a month away from the season. And I do think from a chemistry standpoint, Kevin, although we won't be able to watch any more full practices after today, it will be good for this team to get their full offense together to kind of figure out, okay, how will this work? And not just in theory or on a clipboard or a chalkboard, whatever. How will this all be able to sustain itself when we have all our pieces together?
I need to double check that, what you just said there about us watching practice next week. Someone was saying yesterday, one of the media members, that we do get to watch him next week.
Oh, okay. I do need to double check that myself as well. I just assumed when we got through camp, well, maybe that is true because we're not into the regular season, but
I feel like there's been some years we have been able to watch the first couple back at the facility. Now, to be clear, no fans.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not 100% positive on that. So,
hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to watch more. Us, Kevin. More information is always better.
100% on that. A couple texts here about the Pacers. As you can imagine, this has garnered quite a lot here. Someone notes on the text line, Pacers are going to get the customer data versus just the over-the-air free. That's more valuable for retargeting purposes. Yeah, I that's probably a good point here.
Yeah.
This one from Chris. $1 a game to watch all 82 games with 2 IP addresses, 11 national games. Good deal. Sign me up.
Yeah, so we've gotten, I think, a lot of opinions that are around the spectrum.
Like, this is probably the one that I think sums it up the best. As a Spectrum subscriber who got the Pacers on TV as part of whatever package I have, I'm a little disappointed I have to pay $60 to watch the Pacers on DAZN. At the same time, I feel like $60 to watch all the games is a pretty good deal. Less than the cost of going to one game in person. That's probably the most accurate way to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no one is going to be, completely satisfied by any means on this, but that's kind of where we're at.
My one thing with and this isn't just the zone or anything like that, but this whole streaming situation, the one thing with needing specific apps for things is it's completely ruined the whole flipping back and forth to different things and all that. It drives me crazy because if there's a Pacers game on and there's Thursday Night Football and I want to watch both, it's one's on the phone or one's on a second TV, or I can't do a multi-view situation or back and forth. It's exit this app, open this app.
It's a great point.
That's the thing that's died inside
and it
the
sounds
sports fan.
So impatient, but the 90 seconds it takes to go from one app to the other annoys me so much.
Well, Mark, and I would add too, not just Thursday Night Football, but we have this overlap with the Pacers every year the first couple months of the season. First off, you could get some overlap with some Fever playoff games. As weird as that sounds.
That's a good point, yeah, because of how late the season goes this year.
You mentioned Thursday Night Football, but Mark, I also struggle too when we get into Saturday Pacer games in the fall. I mean, there's so much college football on. And I want to juggle 2 or 3 college football games at night, and now I'm juggling a Pacer game at night too. And obviously the NFL starts to branch into kind of a Saturday, Chris, there's a little bit of a different NFL schedule.
Yeah, you get the baseball playoffs too. That's all coming. You're like, good grief.
Yeah, so I know that changes for a lot of people's viewing. Maybe once we get to the new year and football starts to quiet down, and really it's just kind of college basketball. Opposite that, but that's I think a good point. Boy, man, these Falcons fans are all up in my grill.
You were like a town hero.
To be clear, I was like, you're like the people's champ. They're putting you up on their shoulders and parading you around town like you're Rocky or something.
Right, I know. That's kind of weird. So the
Kevin,
fan base,
he's our man. He'll tell us how bad Tua is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something like that.
I don't look at video analytics very often, but I don't think I've ever had a Day 12 Colts training camp recap video have 444,000 views.
Big time.
And to be clear, this is a video of you talking about the practice, not even showing highlights or anything.
No, my ugly mug.
Woo,
we had someone.
We grow hair. Indy's getting a lot of pub today, baby.
We had someone on the YouTube chat earlier that said their wife walked in as the husband was watching our YouTube stream, and the wife commented, "The guy on the right has a face for radio."
Oh.
Dang.
That's me. Hi.
That's me.
Yeah,
Kevin Bowen.
Well, you can be.
Should I get heated and be like, well, that means you're taking a shot at Maddie Bowen?
Well, yeah, I think you.
And how dare you take a shot at my wife?
Well, look, man, you know
how
I
like
feel.
Bryson right now, getting a little heated
Come
all
on.
of a sudden. You get out.
I've told you many times the high road has too much traffic.
I would say, all this Atlanta love you're getting, you should at least get free entry to Magic City or something. Lemon pepper wings
now
or
we're
something.
talking.
Mark Dykton, I like how your mind thinks.
And look, now he's trying to get Maddie to black one of his eyes after the show.
I will say, Maddie, hope you're not listening to this part, because let's just say I maybe have been in the front door of Magic City once. Not twice.
For the food, though.
Got to experience everything.
The food.
Lemon pepper.
Yeah.
Says Lou
what's
Williams.
the next Atlanta trip on the Colts schedule? I got to make the rounds.
Oh, I'm a little nervous walking out to Colts camp today.
No, I think you're going to be
cheered
loved.
Louder than anybody.
Colts fans love you because they're like, you know what? Yeah, the Colts defense dominated. And then the Atlanta Falcons fans are like, make sure you bring us the good news again today, which is basically that Tua is awful.
So who do they want for a quarterback then? Do they want Michael
Penix.
Penix if he's healthy?
Yeah, they want
want
Penix.
anyone other than Tua, basically, but Penix is the next guy.
Mark Cooper Rush is their current backup right now because Penix hasn't been cleared for 11 on 11. And then they got I don't even know who their fourth stringer was, but there were Falcons fans in the stands yesterday screaming for him. Josh Strand or something.
It was rough, though. I'm not going to lie. The Atlanta offense, when they really went ones-on-ones to end practice, it was very evident that they could not move the ball. And like you said, the Justin Wally pick six happened so early that everyone was like, well, I guess we can't end practice, too soon, so run it back. And they still couldn't move the ball.
Looks like the Atlanta trip for the Colts might be in 2029. It says AFC South TBD. So you better be hoping for 2028 they kind of line up standing wise, and Colts will be heading to Atlanta. Kevin.
I'm reading your guy, James, Josh Kendall from
Yeah.
The Athletic. His first sentence, the first team offense still hasn't clicked. I mean, I guess he's just saying it in a more politically correct way.
Well, yeah, look, when you live in the market, you probably got to be a little safer with your words.
I just thought Tua stunk. I thought he was awful. I thought the Colts won the day. And not just won the end. Because isn't that how you felt about the New England day? The Colts largely lost the practice until the end.
Yeah.
That was kind of your takeaway from that joint practice.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I looked at it myself.
One area I thought Atlanta's run defense. I did think that.
Yeah, they got to JT in a hurry a couple of times where, I mean, as great as he is, he was not going to shake free of just getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
One final time, fan morning show here on what has turned out to be a very busy Thursday.
Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
How we watch the Pacers games is probably one of the most debatable topics. Like what charges people up? IU Purdue rivalry.
By the way, am I allowed to unzip this now? Can I strip?
Easy now.
James wearing an IU t-shirt when we had Barry Odom on earlier. Probably not the best way to go. So
Hey, look, man, if you want me to be wearing a Purdue shirt, win some games.
So he rocked
there you
the
go.
jacket there. I'm trying to think what else. Notre Dame in a conference, Chris Ballard, all these other charged up topics. How we watch the Pacer games is probably one that I would say ranks very high on the list.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I think anytime you're talking about a team that people love around here, like this wasn't a team that just got picked up and dropped here in the last few years, or an expansion team, like they've been one of the teams here from the beginning when it comes to NBA expansion and stuff like that way back in the day. So I think that fires people up, the loyalty, and also the price point. Anytime you talk about money and having to pay more for something that used to be another way, used to be on your local TV, yeah, people have the right to get a little riled up, and I'm kind of with them on that front. I don't think it'll ever go back to how it used to be, but boy, it won't stop me from reminiscing.
I think it's also just because sports in general seem to be the thing that is getting, you got to pay out of pocket to view anything. You can't just get NFL Sunday ticket and watch all the games now. You need Peacock. You need Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
You need Paramount. You need Netflix. You want to watch the NBA? Sorry, they're on Prime Video.
And look,
we talk about every college basketball season. Purdue and IU, you need like 9 streaming services at times to find games.
Yeah,
It's getting to a point where people are like, I'm a sports fan, but enough is enough. Where it's like, can I just watch my teams without having to paying through the nose every time?
I think what Mark said right there at the end makes the most sense. Can I just watch my teams? And so I hear some arguments where it's like, it costs X amount of dollars to watch every single NFL game. Well, yeah, back in the day, that wasn't even possible. So I'm sorry if it costs you a ton of money to watch every single NFL game in any part of the country, anywhere. I still think it should not be as high as it is, to be clear. But that part I'm not as riled up about. What makes me a little upset is what Mark said, watching the local teams. That shouldn't be as difficult as it is at times.
I mean, honestly, consuming us is probably one of the last things that's free. Right?
Ooh, that's a good point I hadn't thought about. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why I feel the way I do.
Like
Not after you receive the key to the city to Atlanta later today.
Like, James, I don't know if you were in last week when we were talking about this, but, if I wanted to, or I probably should be a little bit more of an advocate of like, yes, subscriptions for everything. Maybe that would help us out make more money. Can you imagine if you said, hey, to listen to the radio, it's going to cost $5 a year? Would people do that? $5 a year. James, you have a free Twitter account.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you said to people, or if somehow you have $1 to follow James Boyd for the whole year? How many followers you got?
I got about 30,000, and I would imagine the number would drop. That's like me. That's honestly kind of how Elon has made the platform now, where it's like, would you pay for the ability to tweet longer or to have longer video? And right. I'm just like, no.
Well, there's some accounts I think on Instagram too where you have like exclusive content.
Yeah.
To some people. So like,
Mark, don't click on that, by the way.
Yeah, definitely don't click.
Please.
Shoot.
I mean,
wish you said that 10 seconds earlier.
It's like almost inevitable that I feel like we get there at some point. For us, it's free terrestrial radio. It's free on YouTube. It's free via an app. It's like, when does it's infiltrated newspapers. It's infiltrated TV at a very significant level, I would argue, with TV. What's next? And that's a different topic that I frankly don't even want to get into, but I'd be lying to you if I haven't thought about it. This from Dan. If the Pacers expect me to watch my local team, which I have never done, they better get their... Am I allowed to say not butt, but...
Ass?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This from Dan. If the Pacers expect me to pay to watch my local team, which I have never done, they better get their asses. I can say that plurally too.
Sure.
Into the luxury tax and keep their mouths shut about it. Simon family's worth $16 to $17 billion. We're a small market with insanely wealthy owners.
And to that I say, how could I disagree?
Guaranteed cash from DAZN, right?
Yeah, I get that. But if you're the common man or woman and you're saying, I don't want to pay more when this billionaire family could just pay more to help us, the fan, the consumer, yeah, I have no gripe with that because they're probably right.
Which, again, when you start to compare that there are some other similar market NBA teams that have found a way to go over the air.
Yep.
I think that's the gripe that, and again, maybe some of that's just a more of a local indie thing. Maybe we don't have enough options. I mean, is Wish TV the only option? Honestly, Jake could probably speak to it a little bit better. I'm sure Jake will get into it from 10 to 1. How's the State Fair?
Awesome. State Fair is always awesome.
Mark, you got him on. Mark's in there.
He's on. He's
not,
on.
Not even paying attention.
He's on. Go ahead.
He's on mic too. State Fair was better than Mark Dykton. It was consistent. It was awesome. Everybody loved it. It was reliable. You knew what you're getting into.
Better than Mark Dykton?
Delivers every time you go.
I'm not disagreeing with anything.
So
he's
yes,
saying.
that is slightly different. I don't have headsets on, Mark, so I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, get your act
You can
together.
just
Get your
talk
life
bad
in
about me all
order.
you like. I love the fair. Great being out there yesterday for the horse racing and just being able to soak it all in, and then doing the dairy bar was a great day.
Are you taking a knee?
I'm trying to plug my phone in.
Oh, I thought he was going to ask you to have his hand in marriage.
Well, I thought he was gathering us around for a huddle, for a end of show
Oh,
huddle.
I thought you were going to tell him you don't believe in polygamy.
Station prayer, real quick.
Station prayer here. Jake's got you covered 10 to 1. Tony East, right, will join.
That is correct. We have Adam Rittenberg going to join us. We'll talk a little college football as well. We'll get into the Colts. So we kind of have a, what do we call it, a potpourri Thursday?
Yeah, very nice.
A little bit of everything going on. And yes, this TV deal for sure.
I'll never forget when I watched Jeopardy for the first time and potpourri popped up as a category, and I was like the first time I felt like I learned a really smart word. You know, the next day at school, I'm like using it like 7 times during the day.
I used to work at a floral craft store and figured I'd just own the whole category. Knew everything about it.
That's Jake Query. I'm Kevin Bowe. James Boyd will be up. Final day from Westfield, 3 o'clock today. We'll have your coverage coming up on a